You didn't quit. You're really like against all odds. You're doing something that no one in the family's done, that none of your friends have done.
I'm just gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Whatever is mine is looking for me.
You have to know what road to take to get to your final destination.
Everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
Hello, happy Friday. I know it's been a minute. I took a little mini break because I keep getting demonetized. I keep getting copyrighted. I just be going through it. So I decided to take a step back, take a step away, calm down, because I'm an Aries. I can get very short-tempered, mean. So I'm like, let me calm down, let me step away, let me come back. I'm back. How y'all doing? Are y'all all right? I'm doing so much better. I'm doing so much better. I feel like even though I am getting copyrighted, I love the work that I'm putting out. So it's just like one of those situations where it's just like, let's just focus on the positive because I enjoyed making those deep dives. I love making those deep dives. I love creating the deep dives. So it's like, let's just chalk it up. I enjoyed creating. And if I get copyrighted, if I get striked or whatever, I'll take that. That's how I decided to process it and move forward. So I enjoyed making my Heather Sanders series mainly because I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies. And I saw in real time how they bullied that Tia girl. And I didn't like that. And then you never know who's watching because I may be watching. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm going to talk about it. But I didn't want to just gossip about it. I wanted to understand why they were the way that they were when they bullied the girl and the way that they bullied the girl. I wanted to know more. So I decided to do a deep dive. So that's how we came up with that video. In today's video, this is more reactionary. I know y'all like me to just react to things and just give my opinions. So that's what this video is going to be today. I don't have any notes. I don't have a notepad at all. So this is just a reaction live. And we're going to get into this Latto situation. I'm not watching Love Island because I want to enjoy my summer. I'm sorry. I'm not watching it. Y'all can tell me about it. But I'm not going through what I went through last year. Like I'm not doing that. It was fun. The best thing that I got out of that show was Olandria. So yeah, I'm gonna take my Olandria trophy and I'm moving on. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm taking my Olandria trophy and I'm moving on. Hopefully I'll be able to get a bag, some type of souvenir or something for my troubles. But that's it. You know, I'm not reacting to that this year. They don't like black people. They don't like black women. They be doing us dirty on there and I can't watch it. It's like watching a slave movie or something like that. I don't want to watch that. That's not entertaining to me. Slave movies are not entertaining for me. I don't find that to be entertaining at all. But people keep telling me I need to go see the movie Obsessed. Have you seen it? Have you seen the movie Obsessed? Okay, so that's why I scheduled this live earlier today because I'm like, I have to go see that. Everyone keeps talking about it. My brother, he called me yesterday. I'm in the shower. He calls me and I'm like, huh? He was like, oh my God, you won't believe what I just saw. I'm like, what did you go see? I saw the movie Obsessed. I was like, is it really that good? Is it that good? Okay. It's called Obsession. It's called Obsession. It's great. It's great. Okay, I'm gonna have to go check it out. I don't really do horror films. I try to stay away from horror films, but I did do Sinners, so I guess I'll do it. It's called Obsession, not Obsessed. Okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna go see. So let's get into this situation. Now, y'all know how I am. I'm very calculated. I'm going to react to the Ace situation and then I'm going to react to the Lotto situation. And I just want to see some of the girls contradict. I want to see some of the girls contradict because honestly, I was not going to react to Ace. I was like, it's been a year. Like, nobody cares. move on, whatever. We knew that you are who you are, right? We've been knowing this ego, we've been knowing this jealousy, we've been knowing that. So I was like, nothing to really see here. But then the Latto and Cardi B situation came back up, and I'm seeing a lot of contradictions. So I'm like, let's talk about it. So let's start with Ace though first. We got to start with Ace. He came out with an interview finally acknowledging where he went wrong, what he did wrong. But I feel like it's just too late. I mean, there were so many calculated things that Ace did prior to this honesty. And then is it truly how he feels? Because I saw his sister in the comment section, and his sister was saying that Ace told the truth. So that kind of like debunks the whole apology to me. I don't know. That kind of just, that was crazy.
It's like I've hurt people along the way. From, for example, even with the whole Nicolandria situation, when I spoke on that, like that's me speaking from hurt.
Yeah.
And it was more like a bro, Nick just hurt my feelings. You know, I didn't feel like he had my back. And then, you know, even
So you try to sabotage his relationship? You try to sabotage his reputation? These type of people scare me. These are the type of people that scare me. I mean, for real. These are the type of people that scare me because it's like you didn't think to have a conversation. We talked a little bit about this in Discord, and Emily, I think you posted this. She said, "This triggered me so bad. People will literally throw dirt on your name and try to cut you down. And when it doesn't work and you excel in life, they want to come back and change their tune to try to get back in your good graces to be in that light with you." Exactly. I agree. 1,000%. I agree.
I praised Alandria in the same interview with Speedy, I still also spoke on her relationship. So it opened up the door for her to get hate on in general. And then that wasn't even my intent of the whole thing. It was just basically me to stay how I'm feeling. But, you know, I hurt myself. I hurt them in the process. And that's something where, you know, we talked about it that same week and we smoothed things over and cool, but it put a damage on all of our relationship.
I don't trust him. And the reason I don't trust him is because he's always done things strategically. So I think this is just another strategy of his. His sister basically confirmed that. Like your sister is confirming things on Facebook in the comment section. So or was that Instagram? I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook, but I think I saw it on Facebook. Your sister is confirming that you still feel the way that you feel originally in the first sit down interview that you did with Speedy. And yeah, and then Speedy was very sure after the fact too, because he made a follow-up video saying as if he knew things that we the public don't know. So I don't trust it. I don't trust it. You said what you said, you felt how you felt, and it was real. And I wish when people do weird things, I wish people would just stand on it instead of wanting to fall back on or wanting to not stand back on what you said, not wanting to stand on what you said, or you don't want to acknowledge and just accept that you said what you said and you meant it because that's how you really felt, instead of retracting what you said because now you see that people are not agreeing with you. People are not agreeing with you. And you thought that people were going to be on your side. You thought the public was going to be on your side. You literally thought the public was going to be on your side. And it was the opposite. And I think that if the public was on his side, he wouldn't even be sitting down having this conversation at all. And that says a lot about his character. And I felt like when he did it and when he said it, when it first happened, it exposed his character. Because on the show, you know, I was trying to be more generous and I was trying to see it from the perspective of, well, we really don't know these people. We really don't know who they really are because they've been on this reality show and things are being edited, things are being chopped up, right? So I gave all of the Islanders grace. I did. I still left a little room for me to be wrong or for me to there be some type of misunderstanding. But after what is it called? Beyond the Villa. I told y'all all the people that I had an issue with were exposed on Beyond the Villa because you saw them differently. And then now Ace, when he did that interview with Speedy or whatever, he exposed himself as well. So they all got exposed. And I also told you about Shelly. Y'all didn't want to see the truth when it came to Shelly. But the issue with Shelly is she aligned herself with someone that had influence over her, and it derailed her career. She is also responsible for the role that she played in the situation as well, because she should have spoke up. She should have said something. So she's not out of the clear for me either, because when are you going to acknowledge that you misstepped as well for the role that you played? I'm not saying that she needs to take accountability for what Ace did. Ace did that, but you called yourself to be friends. Well, really, I feel like Olandria was the one that was saying that she was friends with her. She was saying that that was her sister. That was her sister. And I rarely ever saw that type of energy from Shelly, if I'm being honest. But I'm saying, if this is the right thing to do, then it would be the right thing to do for the both of you, because you both played a role in the hate that Nick and Olandria got around the time that all of this started. All of this happened. And Shelly was very quiet. And then it was also very weird. She was so quiet, but then she popped out with Sierra. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. That's very strange. And then you don't say anything. You don't defend Olandria at all. That's very strange to me. That's very weird.
And that's something that it hurts to this day, because these are people who I was friends with in the village for a while, and you try and move on, you try.
I think the term friends is really used loosely in both of these situations that I'm going to be talking about today. You were castmates. You formed a bond, but you formed a bond because you were in a space that you, or an environment that you shared with other individuals, and you created that bond in that space. But that doesn't necessarily mean outside of the environment and space in which you all created this bond and had this chemistry, it doesn't make you friends though. It just makes you people that met and bonded and hung out. But it doesn't necessarily mean that is your friend. I think people use friends, like the term friend, just way too loosely. To have a friend, you have to put in work. And I feel like when I say put in work, you have to go through many different seasons with the person. And I don't mean like fall, spring, summer, winter. I'm literally saying, like, you have to see a person in different seasons in order to truly determine whether or not that is really your friend or not. So you have to see how they deal with conflict. You have to see how they handle their traumas, the toxicity that they do have. You have to see what is their goal in life. Do they have any goals? Are they serious about their goals? Are they truly ambitious within their goals? But just because you hang out with someone and you bond and you have some chemistry, that doesn't necessarily make that person a friend. It doesn't. And then also on top of all of that, to ensure that you truly are a great match when it comes to character, things like integrity, things like kindness, things like consideration, and things like that. Once you really see who that person is, then you also have to see, okay, but are they right for me though? Because now you have to consider, are they right for me? Do they show up for me? Do they support me? There's layers to creating a friendship, and it's not just chemistry and a bond and y'all hung out and y'all was able to find some similarities in that bond or in that space in which y'all share together. So I feel like they were castmates, co-workers, friends. No, I'm not seeing that at all. I'm sorry. I never saw that.
Next play it, but you always want to still right your wrongs.
Right.
And I was definitely wrong for that situation. And
Let me say this.
What took
like,
so long? I just want to know what took so long. What be taking so long for people? Because people was trying to tell him like that was so wrong, and he was just ignoring it, or felt like he didn't have to talk about it or address it or anything like that. And he felt like the more he ignored it, really, him and Shelly, they thought that they were going to be able to brush past it and people were going to move past it, but the public never did.
Ace admits in this interview that he is someone who's very calculated, and I do believe this interview was another calculated move. Ace says he knew that that interview he did would get numbers, and he knew that that interview would get lots of attention. He knew exactly what he was doing when he made those comments about Nick and Alandra's relationship, and he knows what he's doing now when he apologizes. His word choice in this interview was interesting and telling because he does not refer to them as individuals. He says Nicolandria. He refers to their ship name.
I told y'all that they fell off when the situation happened, but y'all wasn't trying to hear it. Y'all was not trying to hear it. Energetically, I'm an intuitive person, so energetically, I literally saw how they lost momentum. They literally lost momentum. I used to play ball, right? And so when there would be certain games that I would play in, and the momentum would be on my side, right? But then after halftime, the momentum was lost. Do you know what that feels like? There's an energy shift. There was an energy transfer. And we saw that happen in real time, but people wanted to be in denial about it. I'm like, what are we being in denial about? They literally lost the momentum that they had when they first came out of the villa. And then they still did well. They were still doing well, in my opinion, when they came out of the villa. They just weren't first place. That's it. But they were still doing well. Like they had so much momentum. And then not only that, Shelly, okay, she didn't have the same momentum. This is the crazy thing about this entire situation. She didn't have the same momentum with Shell Ace that she did with Olandria and Shelly. Like Shelly and Olandria could have been bigger than Nick and Nicolandria. So Shelly literally sabotaged that position that she could have had with Olandria because girls support girls. That's what we do. We are a community. We don't always get along, but one thing about women support women. So Shelly may not have gotten the results that she wanted when it came to Ace and Shelly, but she could have definitely got them same, probably bigger or better results with Shelly and Olandria. And she sabotaged all of that for a man. For a man that was in his ego, for a man that was hurt because he felt like Nick didn't have his back publicly and didn't speak on his character enough. Did you communicate that to Nick? Did you sit Nick down and say, hey, can you help me out as a friend? Can you have my back when it comes to some of the things that people are saying about me when it comes to my character? But then this is the crazy thing. I think Nick started to realize that you are who the public is perceiving you to be because look what you're doing to me. Look what you're doing to me in the woman that I'm with. Look what you're doing to me in my relationship. So the public was never wrong. So in when we really look at it and we look at it just straight on, you really don't have a leg to stand on, Ace. Like you really don't have a leg to stand on at all. Like all of this was for nothing. All of this was for nothing. And the public was right. And Nick saw it for what it was and decided to distance and to separate because you did what you did. If you had good character, you had the character that you wanted Nick to vouch for so bad that we, the public, never saw, then you would have never did Nick like that at all. And that's what I be trying to tell people. Loyal people, we don't need second chances. In relationships, in friendships, loyal people don't need second chances. Real people, like realist people, don't need second chances. They were real the first time. They were loyal the first time. Everything the first time they did it the first time. They didn't need a second chance to do it right or do it correct or to be loyal the second time around. Oh, let me be loyal the second time around. Oh, let me be real with you the second time around. We don't do that. We don't need second chances. So I don't know. It's like the people that be like, oh, I'm real, but be needing 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 chances. That don't make no damn sense to me.
Their fandom uses. It's odd to not refer to them by name as people. It does feel like it's about gaining favor with the Nicolandria fandom. It feels like responding to the social media conversations about him and Nicolandria, and it doesn't feel like he's apologizing to the people he hurt or he's acknowledged them as people and as individuals. I felt like from the beginning, going back to that Disney trip, Ace expected him and Shelly to be the stars and to be bigger than Nick and Alandria. I think because in the villa, Nick and Alandria.
And I told y'all that this man is so calculated that he kicked Shelly to the curb, but y'all wasn't trying to hear that either because y'all like, oh, because it makes black women look bad. No, it don't. It makes Shelly look bad. It don't make black women look bad. Everything that Shelly decided to do was Shelly, 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 and Shelly, and Shelly again. This man is so calculated that, oh, I'm not going to be able to get what I want from this whole experience with you by my side. I'm kicking your ass to the curb. And it's so crazy because Shelly had the upper hand. She could have kicked his ass to the curb first. And then she could have ran off into the sunset with Olandria. The world was in her hand. She chose the man. And you know what? We're going to have a long conversation about that. We're going to have a long conversation about how women be having the whole world in their hand and they choose a man. Whole world, but they choosing a man. Well, I just want to be a wife. I just want to be a wife. The man don't even like you like that. The man wants you to perform. Y'all saw that whole list of the NFL, the I don't know who it was. I think it was like the Caucasian snow bunnies that had the text message thread that was exposed and leaked, and all the men loved it. The men loved it. You want to know why the men loved it? Because they want you to perform. They don't want you to have a personality. They don't want you to have a life of their own. They don't. They want you to perform. They want you to be exactly what that list said. So you're mad? You're mad? I'm not mad that those girls are working to get that bag. That's what the fuck they supposed to do. The only people that should really be upset are the mothers. The mothers of those potential black boys. That's it. But the rest of us, I'm like, sis, if that's what the fuck you want to do, who am I to tell you don't? Who am I to be like, oh no, don't do that, don't? No. The only women that should be upset are the mothers of those black boys or the potential mothers of those black boys. That is it, honey. That is it. Them the ones that need to be sitting their sons down and having conversations with them. But the rest of us, that don't got nothing to do with us. And then even as a mother, you sit your son down and you have that conversation with him. He's gonna be a man one day. And men think differently than we do. So all the men that were like, I don't really see an issue with that list. I'm sure they didn't see an issue with that list. That's exactly what they want from women. They want her to be a robot, a worker, a maid. They don't want you to talk. That was on the list too. No talking. No talking. That's exactly what they want. So listen. The world is in a woman's hands and she gives it all up for a man that don't even like her like that. It's crazy. Because if Ace really liked Shelly, they could have weathered this storm together. But they didn't. Why not? Why not? I don't know. He just seems very performative. And now it just makes me think back to when, he asked her to lock in with him on the show, like what was it, the last episode? Or right before they got kicked off, I forget. And he drew in the sand. That probably was performative too. I don't know. Once I see a person's real character, I gotta go back to everything they ever said and everything they ever did. And I gotta revisit, like, damn, that probably was performative too. I think him drawing in the sand, I don't even think that was real. I start questioning everything after that.
I think Nick and Nicolandria may have been a bit submissive to Ace and Shelly, where Ace and Shelly had stronger personalities and who were more aggressive and assertive in the villa, and then Nick and Nicolandria were not. And I think they expected that dynamic to continue, but then they come out and Nick and Nicolandria are much more well-known and well-liked than they are. And I think it threw them for a loop. And I think in particular, it made Ace very angry and bitter. I think he is sad that he still has not been able to rehabilitate.
Look at that face. So just for reference, y'all, that is the energy, that is the face of a man that is jealous and in his ego. Out to destroy your character and your relationship because of his feelings.
His image, and this interview is his step at doing that. I don't find it to be genuine because it took so long to come, and the way that he refers to them and talks about them still doesn't feel like he's remorseful about what he did. I just think he's remorseful about how the cookie crumbled.
Yeah, it's weird. And then another thing that was weird about Shelly, because that's another thing. I could give grace, right? You chose your man. All right, cool. Happens every day. But her hanging out with Sierra, her calling Taylor her bestie. Y'all remember the phone call on Love Island? I still remember this. And she was like, they were asked who would be who's the best couple, or who's the couple that you are rooting for or voting for? and they did not vote for Nicolandria. And I was like, I forgot who they voted for. Who did they vote for, y'all? When it was the phone call and they were calling and they were still they did not leave Fiji yet, but it was like the promo after them getting basically kicked off the show. And so they call in and then they are asked as a couple, who who are you rooting for that's still left? Oh, Amaya and Brian. And I was like, Amaya and Brian. Honestly, it could have been another couple, and I would have been like, okay, all right. But Amaya and Brian, we all knew that shit was fake. We all knew it was fake. So I'm like, Amaya and Brian, yeah. So no, no, I'm not buying none. I'm sorry. Shelly is just not innocent. If you can't see it for what it is, then you just, girl. I mean, you could accept her for who she is. Some people you can do that. Like you could accept her for who she is, but accept her for who she really is, and don't be making excuses for how she be moving weird, because she be moving weird as hell. She be moving weird as hell.
Along the way, from, for example, even with the whole Nicolandria situation, when I spoke on that, like that's me speaking from hurt. Yeah, it was more like a bro, they just hurt my feelings, you know. Yeah.
And then I think there was another interview I saw with Shelly where she was calling Taylor her bestie. Taylor is your bestie? I mean, it's just weird. Like, that's the type of stuff, y'all, in women, because women are passive aggressive as fuck. I'm not overlooking that type of stuff. I'm not you besties with Taylor, and he did me dirty. Cause that's the whole reason the whole internet don't like Taylor to this day, is because how he did Olandria, right? We don't like Taylor because of how he did Olandria. Then you hanging out with Sierra that is acting weird, like she's stalking them, it seems like. And then it recently was exposed that she may be behind a fake account. And behind this fake account, the only page that this fake account follows is Sierra. But she's saying that she's not behind this account. And behind this account, this person, whoever's behind this fake page, was being racist. But Shelly hanging out, so it's possible, right? Because I'm like, okay, the fake account is following Sierra and Sierra only. It's not following anyone else. And then this fake account is under different, I think Twitter threads. I think it was Twitter threads being racist. And I don't know how people were able to put two and two together, but they accused her, which is wild to accuse her. But it was more to it than just this fake page following Sierra. I just forget what it was. What was the other thing too? But whatever. I think it had something to do with her username or something like that. It was something crazy like that. So you hanging out with somebody like that, you besties with Taylor, and then you vote Amaya and Brian, and we knew on the show that was the fakest couple. We knew they was never gonna make it. We knew that. So it's just weird. And then you stand by this man that says all of these things about your quote unquote sister friend's relationship. Too many weird pieces for me that have been moved, and I I don't trust it. I don't trust it after that. I'm sorry. And I tried to give grace. I tried to give understanding. I try, especially when it's a black woman, because we already have it hard as it is. But it's just some stuff, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
I didn't feel like he had my back. And then, you know, even though I praised Alandria in the same interview with Speedy, I still also spoke on her relationship, so it opened up the door for her to get hate on. Talked about it that same week, and we smoothed things over and cool, but like it put a damage on all of our relationship. And that's something that it hurts to this day, because, you know, these are people who I was friends with in the village for a while, you know, and, you know, you try and move on, you try and, you know, next play it, but, you know, you always want to still right your wrongs. Right. And I was definitely.
Listen, y'all don't got a dog Shelly out, but I'm saying though, just as if we're keeping it real, okay, if we being honest, too many weird coincidences for me. And then there was another situation. They did an interview where I guess one of the questions was who was best dressed, and then they compared themselves to other islanders. And I don't even think the question was I don't know. It was just the way they said it. It was the way that it was worded. It was like, we got to come before everybody else. And if I was to respond and I'm doing PR interviews, I wouldn't compare myself to my castmates, especially if I consider them to be friends of mine. I would not compare them to me in a way to where I'm putting them beneath me and I'm putting myself above them. Like, I just think that's weird. And yeah, you do have to pay attention to how people say things and how they talk to you, because why do they feel the need to put you down to prompt themselves up? Like, that's what they did in that interview as well. So, and then now this man is sitting on the couch saying, I was hurt. You were also jealous, but yeah, allegedly. But yeah. Mhm.
Wrong for that situation. And
Yo, Ace is such a narcissistic. Oh my god, it's so much I want to say, but I don't want this video to get banned. But what I will say is that one thing men will always teach you is that being male-centered will never get you anywhere. And I'm so happy that I consistently preach this on my TikTok page, because I want to show y'all how being male-centered, like I said, it gets you nowhere. Ace go on a podcast. He says that this is something that we already knew, though, us Nicolandrians, but everybody else dragged it out because they wanted Nicolandria to be PR so bad. Mind you, if you go scroll down on Love Island USA from last year, the comments, everybody thought Error and Nick was PR. They just thought that Error wanted to win so bad, and they thought Nick was just sticking it out with her to the end, and then they win and then they break up. But everybody thought that relationship was PR, okay? Just keep that in mind. Second of all,
I never thought it was PR, but the relationship that I always thought was PR was Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. I did not think that relationship was real, but I also didn't think that Megan Good and Jonathan Majors is real. But
when it comes to Ace,
but Nick and Olandria, I never thought that it was PR ever, not for a sec.
He admitted that he went and lied on them because he was hurt that Nick didn't stick up for him. But my thing is that why out of all your friends, none of your friends had to come out and make a statement about your character, but you wanted Nikki Pooh to come out and make a statement for you? Why? And then you play the black card, saying, as a black man, I expect he said in the Speedy podcast, right? I didn't watch the whole podcast. My sister kind of.
I think two things can be true. These PR relationships, there could be real feelings involved in these PR relationships. All PR relationships are not the same. So, prime example, Megan Good and Jonathan Majors, they're really married. And he still benefited in a PR way when it came to being seen with her publicly. But she lost a lot of business by doing that. So some of these PR relationships, there are real feelings and real emotions involved. It's not always just strictly business all the time. And sometimes if you're hanging around someone and you're pretending to be in a relationship with them, you may actually start to fall for them. Like, that is a real thing that could happen. I've seen this happen with people on the job. Have you ever worked in a call center? And them people that be flirting, but they be having a spouse back at home and they be flirting, and they end up really fooling around with each other. It's called the work husband and the work wife. That's real. So I don't know. Do I think it was PR? Absolutely. I believe that they both benefited from the relationship publicly, but I also think that there may have been some real feelings involved as well, though. Two things can be true when it comes to these PR relationships. Now, when it comes to Tiana Taylor and that Mufasa guy, that was strictly business. Like, you could literally tell that was strictly business. I personally believe that Tiana wants to be with a woman. I think that she gonna slip and slide on down, and she gonna end up with a woman. It's coming. But these other relationships, I don't know. I mean, Klay Thompson, you really think he could a man like Klay, you know what I mean? A man like Klay could really handle, because now we know who Klay really is. You saw that diary that he had. You saw the diary that he had. You really think the Megan Thee Stallion can throw that thing back for play and he not gonna try to catch it? I'm not buying that. You want me to believe that a man like Klay that had a cheating diary, okay, with his sexual struggles, all right, a man like that, she over here just throwing it back for fun, like, oh, this is just PR. This is just PR. This is just PR. And you don't think he gonna try to catch it? Hell, I think I may try to catch it. So what you saying? You don't think that maybe he started thinking, I know this is supposed to be for fun, and this is just a little, this is just but you know what? You know what? Fuck it. Why not? I mean, be for real. For real. The Megan the Stallion. You really think that he was just like, yeah, like she can twerk on me. I would never try to do anything. Come on, y'all. Be so for real. Now, could he have been playing her from the very beginning? Probably. Probably. I'll give you that. But you want me to believe that he was throwing that back and he was like, no, I'm not catching that. I don't want any parts. I'm not buying that, y'all. That's what I'm not buying. I'm really looking at this from a realistic perspective. Like, yeah, hell no. Hell no. And they may have been drinking together. You know what I mean? I'm not buying that, y'all. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. Maybe in a different world, in another universe, but not this one. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all.
Debriefed it off me. Only thing I watched that podcast is clips of when he said Nicolandria was fake. Everything else, I did not give that podcast energy at all. But my sister did debrief with me, and she was telling me that he was saying, as like a black man, his white friends should stick up for him. But I'm like, what do you want Nick to say? You want him to write a full statement about how real you are coming out the villa? I don't get it. But you don't want the same thing from Taylor, Brian, Pepe, all these other people, Jalen, everybody else who supported your podcast when you came out that day about Nicolandria saying that they fake. So why are you expecting so much from Nick, but you're not expecting nothing from the other guys that you was close to in the villa? That's so strange. And why would someone release a statement about someone else's character? Nobody else did it. Why would you say that? It's not like the fans, it's not like Nicolandria's us was saying something wrong about Ace. I see if you was going to do the fans or the other stands who ain't like you, but it wasn't us who was coming at you. So why would Nick make a statement for you? Second thing I want to talk about is how he say that he was wrong and he apologized that weekend and yada yada. But I remember he went on the red carpet and another narcissistic thing that he did, and another thing that he could never do is take accountability, right? He went on the red carpet.
And Omar, are y'all cool? Are y'all good? Are the relationships still the same? Are they different?
Been cool since in August. We've been cool. Behind the scenes, nobody gets to see the relationships that we build, and not everything hits the net. So everybody assumes we're all either beefing with each other, not cool with each other. It's all love. It's all peace, and that's one thing I love about our friendships.
Things are sometimes addressed publicly that then end up being resolved privately. Would you like to address it publicly?
I'm a huge fan of addressing things, apologies, everything publicly. You know what I mean? But things going behind closed doors with certain people don't want you to address certain things, publicly. So again, I'm more of a people person. I like to be on the same page as the person. I'm a firm believer in if you're going to do something public, apologize. And trust me, when I say I believe that wholeheartedly, but I respect everybody's wishes. I'll just say that.
So why are you talking now? Man, listen, you got to realize when people be out here moving and doing things that are just truly self-serving, they don't care about you. Ace don't care about the wishes of Olandria and Nick. And even here, right, we can only speculate at this time, but it's like, so now you're saying something? So you're going against their wishes according to this red carpet interview, or was that not true? Which is true? That's what I'm saying. Like when you see the inconsistencies in people like this, when it comes to the things that they say and the things that they do, you have to question everything that they ever said. You have to question everything that they ever did. That's why that whole drawing in the sand, asking Shelly, will you lock in with me? I even think that's performative now. I don't even think that was real. So yeah, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust them.
So in that video, you throw them under the bus again, saying that because you suck at taking accountability and you never want to see it. This is the problem with clout nowadays too. Nobody want to be wrong. Everybody want to please the fans. Everything is fan service nowadays. Nobody authentically themselves. You said that they told you not to do anything public and yada yada. So you go out in public and say that you are a firm believer in making a public statement, but Nick and Alandra don't want, how they don't want it to be public if that's what really happened, because I don't know, this man lies so much. If they didn't want the apology to be public, it's because of everything that you have done to make it. You have made things, that Alandra was already experiencing so much hate from the Duda fans and the Shellis fans and your fans, because there's a whole bunch of y'all who still didn't like Alandra, right?
Because honestly, it created a major divide. People felt like they had to choose which side to be on. And then people felt like, oh, this is the time to hate because now I have to choose a side and it's us versus them type thing. I mean, he literally created a whole issue online, and it just made it real nasty. Then not only that, the girls had already been through enough. Olandria and Shelly had already been through enough. So you decided to drag them in some more stuff because you felt hurt.
All of that stuff that she went through with the HATE, and then you go on a podcast and entice it towards her.
Crazy.
Right? But you can't ever say that you feel bad because of the friendships are messed up. You have never valued Olandria as a woman, as a person, point blank, period. You look at her as a subhuman. That's how you look at black women, period. Because even in the Shelly instance, he was jealous of Shelly too. I do not care. I don't like Shelly at all, but from another black woman to another.
Because if he really did see her as a human, he would have considered her feelings. But no, she wasn't considered at all. Hell, Shelly wasn't even considered at all. Shelly wasn't considered when it came to how this would put her in a weird position when it came to Olandria, and Olandria wasn't considered at all when it came to how she may feel to hear this publicly for the first time. He didn't give a fuck. So that's why she's saying that. And it's like anyone that truly sees you as a human being, they care about your feelings. They care about how you may receive information, how you may be treated because of certain information being revealed. They care about that. They're going to consider those things before they put you in a weird position where you're now having to deal with things that maybe you weren't prepared to deal with mentally and emotionally. But he didn't care. He didn't care about Shelly, and he didn't care about Olandria. And this is who Shelly chose to stick beside. Crazy.
Black woman.
So is it shocking that when it came down to it, he felt like he needed to do what was best for him and decided to kick her ass to the curb in the end? No. It's not shocking because he didn't care about her feelings when this situation happened. And if I was Shelly and my man did that and he did that and I didn't even know about it, we would be done. We would be done because now you're not considering me, my feelings. Why would I think that you would consider me in any other time? I wouldn't expect for you to consider me any other time if you didn't even consider me here. So, and I don't know you like that. We're trying to build something together. This would be a major red flag, especially if I've been laid up crying to you about all the hate that I've been getting online. And then you bring me more hate without my consideration at all. We would be done here because you're showing me that you don't consider me. You're not ready for a relationship. You're not ready for what I'm ready for. So you got to go. Simple.
Did not like her. He was jealous of her. That's why it was quick for him to jeopardize her friendships. The same thing with Olandria. He did not value Olandria's friendship because he was constantly telling Taylor to stick with Olandria because the producers was telling him to tell Taylor to do that. So Taylor could stay until someone like Clark come in and he goes after Clark, someone who he's actually attracted to. But if you actually...
And y'all know how I feel when men don't. Y'all know how I feel when men don't defend women publicly. That is such a big ick. I don't like that. I don't like that. And you know what? People are mad at Jackie or whatever, but I saw her man in the comment section making it known that he's sticking beside his woman, and I respect that. I respect it, even though I don't agree with Jackie Ina and where she stands in the whole situation with Patrick Tall and Esther and all of that. But it's nice to see a black man stand beside his woman publicly. It's nice to see that. So I don't like that. Same thing with Travis Kelce and Kayla. I'm like, you never defend her at all. I don't like it when men just allow you to be dragged publicly and they don't say anything at all. They don't say nothing. They just let you get dragged. They don't defend you at all. They just let you get dragged. I don't like that. That's not a protector to me. Oh yeah, Patrick Todd didn't defend her, but I mean, I don't expect for him to. He literally set her ass up. Why would he come in and defend Jackie? She's getting all the heat. He's sitting comfortable.
Your friend, you would have told her from the beginning that Taylor was never attracted to her. Somebody would have told her. I'm talking about weeks was going on, and still nobody told Olandria that Taylor was not attracted to her, which I don't know how, because that's the best ever, but still, no one in that villa told her that. No one. Well, Ace didn't. He knew. You get what I'm saying? He went as far as not even telling Shelly. So
yes, I like y'all. I really think Ace intentionally sabotaged the connection and the relationship that Shelly had with Olandria. But this is the crazy thing about Ace. This is the crazy thing about Ace is that he could have had that bro code thing going on with Nick. Nick was trying to make that happen. Remember when Nick went and got Ace tatted on his back? So he was showing his support in his own way. He wasn't being performative, Ace. I know you don't know what that's like. But Nick was being himself, showing his public support. He was always commenting and engaging. I remember this time. He was always commenting and engaging. When he saw the promo video of this interview, Nick was in the comments, cheering him on, supporting him. He didn't even know what was going to be said. He was there supporting him. So I think that Ace sabotaged what Shelly and Olandria could have been because he was jealous of that. Because I also think it's all about first place with him. It's all about first place. Because he even knew that the bro code relationship that he could have had with Nick, it was still never going to be bigger than Shelly and Olandria. It was always going to be Olandria. It was always going to be Olandria, y'all. It was always going to be Olandria because that's just who it was meant to be for. It was always going to be Olandria. But Shelly could have benefited though. Ace could have benefited from Nick because Nick obviously benefits from Olandria because he's with Olandria. But because it wasn't going to be first place, he could not handle that. That's what it all comes down to. That is what it all comes down to because Ace still would have had to come second even when it came to Nick in this bro code relationship that they could have had together. So it was always about first place.
Get back, but honestly, I believe that Shelly knew. I just think it wasn't a scene that was in there. But anyways, like I was saying, he is.
And I be trying to tell y'all, people don't think far or people don't think that far because they can't see past their egos. That's why I be telling y'all, do your shadow work. Do your shadow work. Do your shadow work. You got to be able to see past your ego. Like that's my issue. That's my whole thing with Jackie Ina. I'm like, girl, you got to see past your ego. You got to see past your ego. You got to see past your ego. Some people don't know how to see past their egos, and that's part of the problem. So Shelly didn't see past her ego, and neither did Ace. And it's really sad because they could have came out better than Brian and Amaya, and they were the winners of the show. They still could have came out better than them. So I just don't understand, like, what's the problem? And then this is another thing. There's really no need to compare for me personally because I felt like Black women got Black love, and I also felt like Black women got interracial love. It was the perfect balance. I felt like it was the perfect duo. And then not only that, not only did we get both of that, right? But we also got sisterhood love as well. It was just a win-win situation. They could have been the generational cycle breaker of seeing a more diverse image when it comes to Black women in love. Like prime example, okay, they had the Black love going on. Then you got Olandria and Nick. They had the interracial love going on. Then they hung out together as a couple. Then you got the Black sisterhood going on, and then you have this white man and being friends with this Black man. It was perfect. It was perfect to me. I felt like it was perfect, and there was so much there was so much that could have been done with these different images is what I'm saying. There's so much that could have been done, but he couldn't see that far. He couldn't see that far. So I don't know why he couldn't see that far, but he needs to put on his glasses because I'm just like, you really had the world in your hands and you was like, I don't want it.
Textbook level narcissist. He is jealous of women. Jealous.
And to be honest, because I know how Olandria is, Ace didn't have to choose between Nick and Taylor. Ace didn't have to choose between Nick and Taylor. Olandria is too classy and she is too emotionally mature for that. I'm sorry. Olandria would have moved past it. It's, especially where she is, it would be so childish to even care. And I just know that she wouldn't care. I'm sorry. She wouldn't care. She winning. She's literally on top. Who would care if you're at the very top? Nobody cares. So when you're at the very top. Now, if you ain't at the top, okay. But she's at the very top. Why would she care?
People, period, right? When it came to him and Shelly, he left Shelly because he seen that they weren't going to be the next it couple like Cordina, right? So he left her in the wind, and now he's going on podcast to save face. And now he's trying to do this whole thing, but it's like, and everybody's like, oh my God, Ace is vindicated. No, he's not. That man is dangerous. That man is fake. Because if it was really like that, he really felt like that, he wouldn't have started hanging around Lil Yachty after the thing. Y'all know Lil Yachty said Nicolandria was fake. He went as far as hanging around him, hanging around anybody who had them for Nicolandria. So it's like, bro, you can't say all this and be doing all that after the fact. Like, no, that apology was not sincere. You were still doing things to hurt them, to comfort them in their brand and who they are as people and who they are as a couple. That is a dangerous man. Oh, child. Oh, keep them type of people away from me, baby. I'm scared of him. Anyways, though, like I was saying, being male centered will never get you anywhere because now he's going on his apology tour. Not all the Shelly saying like, oh my God, I forgive him. But Shelly is still left, right? With not her friendship, which is good because we see how Shelly has acted since they had left the villa. So rejection.
And do y'all see how great of a friend Olandria is, though? Girl, you fumbled her. Oh, my chest. And yes, you can fumble a good friend. Olandria being your friend, girl. And I'm not talking about the close proximity to what she has access to. I'm talking about her character. You fumbled a girl like that. You know how hard it is to find a good friend? Girl, you are dumb. I'm sorry, you dumb. I'm sorry. It is what it is. A woman with class and integrity, emotional intelligence, girl, girl that knows how to manage her emotions well, that care about you, that check in on you, that supports you. Girl, you fumble somebody like that? That's crazy. That's listen, an ego will blind you and play you and sabotage good relationships in your life. Be careful.
Protection. But however, this is why you never put a man before your sisters, because they will dust you and leave you in the wind. And all that stuff sticking behind him while he dogging your friends out and their name and all that. It wasn't worth it.
And then I'm experiencing healing from being able to see Olandria's friendship circle. Because y'all know how I feel about female friendship circles. They terrify me. But it really looked like they get along really well. And it really looks like it's no hating. It's no competition. It's like really them just having fun together, being young and enjoying life. So, Shelly, I'm sorry, girl, but you fumbled a really good thing. And there's so many of us that would love to be a part of a sister friendship like that. Girl, I'm sorry, but hell no. And then you fumbled it to be hanging around Sierra. Oh my gosh.
Hurt people along the way from.
Hold on. Let me see.
We don't give a fuck. It's a little too late. We don't give a fuck. And honestly, let's just take this outside of the Love Island cast and just apply this whole situation to real life relationship. I cannot stand people like Ace. They throw dirt on your name and they do it to try to cut you down. And then when that doesn't work and you continue to elevate in life, right? And you disconnect that person from you, that negative energy, them being the negative energy is gone. So new energy comes in, better energy comes in, better people come in, and you start to elevate, you start to do better for yourself. And then they see that what they tried to throw at you, it didn't work. Matter of fact, you excelled. You were supposed to be down, but it didn't work. And now that they see that you are excelling in life, they want to change their tune. They want to come back around slowly and want to apologize and admit, oh my God, I was wrong. I was wrong. Now they want to be part of your success. They want to be next year.
And this is a question that I have for a lot of people, because I've actually had this happen to me. And I know for a fact that if I did not elevate from the attempts of people trying to tarnish my reputation and literally destroy my life, and I've had a woman try to destroy my life. Because when you don't want to be friends with a girl, and we gonna get into it here in a sec, when you don't want to be friends with a girl, they start to go 8, shit crazy. Like, they literally will try to destroy your life. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I've actually had this happen to me where they try to destroy you. They try to tarnish your reputation. They try to get other people to see you in the ways that they see you through the lens of jealousy and envy, but it didn't work. Not only did it not work, but you elevated. You became even more successful, and more people like you now than when they started going around and trying to tarnish your reputation. So now that they see, oh, it didn't work, and they see that you're in a better place because you've elevated from all of the things that they tried to do to you, then they want to come back and they want to apologize and try to make it seem like, oh, because I apologize, you should forgive me. And oh, because I apologize. No, it does not work like that. It does not work like that. So Ace is doing this same thing where it's been a year, and all of the attempts to get people to forget about it didn't work. And so now he wants to apologize, and now he wants people to support him again because he is righting his wrongs. He's righting his wrongs, and now he is also wanting people to forgive him and let the past be the past. And it's just like, if some people not gonna get over on that, because what he doesn't understand and what people don't understand, some of us look at how your character was exposed. It's not always what you did, it's the character in which who you are that is a problem that remains. Just because someone can acknowledge what they did in a situation, it does not change who they really are. It just means that they can acknowledge what they did. But you showed your hand and you showed what you were capable of. So if anyone was to trust you ever again, it probably wouldn't be wise, because you're capable of doing it again because you showed that what you're truly capable of. And you did it real sly because you were real sneaky about it. You were passive aggressive about it. You were going around talking to everybody else about it. So you showed your character, you showed your real face. And now you think that because you can acknowledge that you were wrong, that changes things, that now just creates this domino effect of, well, I right all my wrongs. And it's just like it erases what you did. It doesn't. It just doesn't. The only way you can actually move forward is you have to show up consistently a changed person. An apology is just not enough, especially when it comes to situations like this and it deals with trust. Like, Ace broke the foundation of trust. That's huge. No relationship will ever sustain itself without trust. How do you rebuild trust? It takes time. It's not just an apology, though. So even when it comes to the public, he doesn't understand that it's going to take time for him to redeem himself. These interviews are not going to be enough, because now you have to show up consistently being this new version of who you are saying you recognize that you need to change within yourself. But we need to actually see it, though. You can't just give an apology. And that's another thing. People are saying, oh, I apologize, or I take accountability. Okay, that's great. You apologize, you take accountability, but still, you have to move forward consistently showing people that you are this changed person because you took accountability, because you were able to acknowledge what you did wrong and you apologize for it. You still have to build moving forward. It just doesn't, people just don't just bypass, because that part of truly being a changed person. Like, people don't, if they smart, you better not let that person back around you. You better not let that person back around you, and they ain't showed you through actions consistently that they are this changed person. You a fool if you do. You a fool if you do. And this is why people get stabbed in the back not once but twice, and sometimes 3 times by the same person, because you let that person back around you off an apology. That's crazy to me. That person needs to show you, and they have to show you consistently, and they need to show you consistently over time. An apology is not enough, and it's not going to do it.
They want to be there with you. And because of his ego and his lack of emotional intelligence and lack of learning how to stabilize his emotions, he got jealous, he got mad, so he decided to just cut down everybody around him. He caused a field of destruction. He sent that woman, he sent Ola and Nick so much hate. And then the connection between Ola and Shelly fell out because of it. Because he was hurt. Those are the type of people, you cannot let them back in your life.
At all.
You cannot let them back in your life because they're only there, not because they're sorry. They're only there because they want to be with you in the spotlight. And they realize, oh shoot, I should have stayed with that person.
I played my card wrong.
Seeing Ola, and just, again, in general, outside of Love Island, people like Olandra are the type of people who are like, I want other people to win. Let's win together. Let's be together. And they want to elevate other people. Whole time, other people want to cut them down because of jealousy.
And it's so crazy, like us people that really want to win together, and like that's our mindset, is winning together, especially with our friends. We don't want to just be up at the top eating alone. That's why we want everybody to win, because we want everyone to eat. We want everyone to have fun. We want people to celebrate with success. Like, we don't want to be the only one sitting at the table successful. But you get around some of them other personalities, and they want to be the only ones that's successful. What kind of life is that? You want to be the only successful one sitting at your table? You know how lonely it gets when it comes to success? That's why I want everyone around me to be successful. I want everyone around me to meet their goals. I want everyone around me to be who they want to be, because then I get to celebrate with them. Then we can have something to talk about. We're still relatable. We're still relating to each other. But if there's only one, that's one lonely ass table, and I don't like that. So when you have people like Ace that's in his ego, he don't understand stuff like that because he's in his ego and it's very selfish. But people that want to see everyone win, we see the bigger picture. We're not in our egos. So we see a table full of people that we want to celebrate with, that we want to have fun with. That's what it's about. That we want to create memories with. That's what it's about. So you got to be careful about them other people where it's like there can only be one. Stay away from them, because them the type of people, when they get success and they get their money, they going to be real lonely.
And now that they see that they're winning, like, oh, I should have stayed along with them. I want to come back. It's too late for that. It's a year. It's been over a year, Ace. Oh my God.
It's crazy. So let's move on to Latto, y'all. And yes, Emily, I had to play your video because I loved it. I loved it so much. Let's get into the Latto situation. So with the Latto situation, I had to do a little bit of research because, you know, people were talking about Ice Spice. Latto forgave Ice Spice. And I feel like that's unfair to compare, because through my research, the beef that Ice Spice and Latto had was because of fan bases and Twitter. So their beef wasn't even real because their issue wasn't real. They didn't have an issue. They did not have an issue with each other. So let me see. Hold on. And I'm gonna call the what I forget what do Cardi B call her fans? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, this would, if the shoe was on the other foot, let's just get to it. If the shoe was on the other foot.
You know what? A girl have beef with me, she gonna have beef with me forever.
That's your queen? See, this is what I respect. I respect consistency. That's it. That's it. Whatever you want to do, I'm with it, as long as you're consistent with it. But if you inconsistent and you wishy-washy, I don't like that. I don't like that, because I don't know who you are for real. I want to accept you for who you are, but it's hard to accept you for who you are if you inconsistent. And then people are like, oh, Cardi, her apology was just so grown. It was so grown. It was so, because Latto decided to address it in her album, and Latto decided to address it in her album is a crime. But Cardi B can rap about her ops constantly. I mean, she has a whole career rapping about her ops. She literally titled her last album, Am I the Drama? But Latto can't address her real life situations in songs now. Since when? That's where you get your inspiration for your raps. What is the problem? So Cardi can do it, but Latto can't do it because it's Cardi. Come on, y'all. Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Wherever you stand, if you against it, you against it. If you for it, you for it. Whatever you stand, just be consistent. That's all I'm asking. Because I can respect it. But when you inconsistent, I just be like, what's the reason and what is the point? What is the reason and what is the point? So let me see what else. So that was one. And then I'm trying to see where the beef was addressed originally with Ice Spice and Latto.
Y'all, Latto just went live a
Okay,
couple
here
of
it is.
minutes ago, and she had this to say about the shit between her and Ice Spice.
That little clip. I'm sorry y'all never been in a sprinter before. Music videos be on shuffle. Shit don't be that deep.
Do?
I ain't see the shit. My mom can drop dead right now if I'm fucking lying. Fuck, I need to lie for it. I already said I'm not ducking smoke. If it's smoke, if it's what Cardi said, if it's the fuck, if it's smoke, then it's smoke. But I don't have to lie.
So basically, the alleged beef between Ice Spice and Latto was just women being pinned against each other for no reason. That's it. Fans pinning the other artist against the other artist and creating like this competition between the two women. But they didn't have a real life issue. They didn't have an issue at all. People were just putting things in, like fans were just putting things in their head, or people were creating narratives online. And maybe they kind of fed into it at one point, but then maybe they had a conversation about it. It's like, I really don't have an issue with you. And then I really don't have an issue with you. So there's no issue. There's no issue at all. Have y'all ever dealt with because I've dealt with this in trio situations with women where a woman can create a narrative and have two women pinned against each other, and then you go talk to that woman direct and you have a conversation with her, and then you like, I don't have an issue with you. I don't have an issue with you. And then you realize that y'all never had an issue with each other, but this other woman was creating these narratives and planting these seeds in your mind to think that this other woman got an issue with you and was running back between the two of you, pinning y'all against each other. That's what the beef was, which isn't a real beef, though. It's not a real beef. It's a misunderstanding, and it's people being messy. So they squashed it. They squashed it.
I ain't see that shit till y'all pointed it out. I'm drunk as fuck. Leaving camp. Or whatever the fuck club I was at in Houston. I'm just recording a fucking TikTok.
She outside trying to have fun. She outside trying to have fun, and people are kicking up a narrative. They're trying to spin some type of narrative because she posted a TikTok video and it had nothing to do with Ice Spice at all. But people were trying to create a narrative, being messy.
Be that deep. And on my mother, if I did see that video behind me, I still would have proceeded.
Period. Latto also stated that she is sick and tired of the blogs cutting her shit up to make it fit their narrative. So I just played her shit all the way through. So really this Ice Spice and Latto beef ain't what people think it is. So maybe we need to pipe down on this narrative and move on to the next thing. All right, bye. Y'all.
So when y'all try to make it seem like, oh, but Latto forgave Ice, it's not the same, y'all. I'm sorry. It's just not the same at all.
Why you wanna act dumb? Why you wanna act dumb? I really don't know. You don't know? I'ma show ya. I'm not Latto. I'ma beat her the fuck up. I'ma knock her the fuck out. Oh yeah. I'ma beat her ass. I'ma get Riot beat up by my.
This is crazy to mention a friend of yours. And she don't got nothing to do with the situation at all. You were you literally speaking on her, and she has nothing to do with the situation at all. At all. That's crazy.
Y'all gonna see what the fuck is up. You think I'm fucking pussy ass Latto?
Y'all are not about to sit here and gaslight me and make me believe that a woman can disrespect you like this, speak on you, and really you get a clear understanding of how she really feel about you and how she really see you, and you about to be cool with her again? You gonna be cool with her again? You gonna be around her again?
Bro, I don't gotta fucking tell y'all shit that she said because y'all know exactly what
Y'all, that's why I had to wait like an hour into this live to play this, because she was cussing a lot, and YouTube don't be clocking it when you like an hour into your live stream. Because I just wanted y'all to hear how she really felt. Do y'all feel the emotion behind that? And this is another thing too, because the girls are like, well, she was pregnant and she was emotional. But these are the same women that are like, we are supposed to be the leaders. The men are not supposed to be the leaders. We are supposed to live in a matriarch, but you can't handle your hormones pregnant. You can't handle your emotions pregnant. You gonna use that as an excuse? Which is it, ladies? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot. It don't work like that. You make excuses for acting a certain way, which was truly uncalled for and out of the blue. It was unprovoked. But then you're like, oh, we are supposed to be the leaders. You can't manage your emotions. You don't know how to manage your hormones. You don't need to be leading nobody in nothing. Like, that's just facts. You don't need to be leading nothing. You don't need to be leading nothing. You don't. That's the reality. You don't. If you don't know how to manage your hormones and your emotions, you don't need to lead anything. You barely can lead your own life. You barely can lead yourself. You can barely be a good friend to a woman that you said you was friends with when it comes to your emotions and your hormones. This is the thing that kills me. It's like women want to be in leadership. They want this whole matriarch thing, but you don't want to take responsibility. You don't want to take responsibility. You don't think that you need to take on more when it comes to how you carry yourself, your behavior, your actions, the choices that you make, the decisions that you make. Good leaders take all of that on. They don't use excuses like, well, I was mad, or I was upset that day, or I was just being hormonal and emotional. Good leaders don't do that. They don't do that. So pick a side. If you want to use that as an excuse, then use it as an excuse. But don't be like, oh, well, we should live in a matriarchy and women need to be leaders. And no, it don't work like that. It don't. Because if you're going to be responsible for other people, you have to be reliable. You have to be dependable. You can't use the excuse for my hormones today. Well, my feelings were hurt, or I was being emotional today. That doesn't work. It don't work like that. So pick and choose. Pick and choose. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways.
She about to do this Empire State joint.
Nah, she about to get. Oh, she in New York? She in New York? Tell her link up. Tell her link up. Tell her link up. Tell her link up. Where y'all at? Where y'all niggas is at? Where y'all niggas is at? Where y'all niggas at? Where y'all niggas at? Where y'all niggas at?
Are you gonna tell me what she said?
You know what the fuck she said, nigga? I'm gonna tell you what she said. Y'all wanna fucking act stupid? Nigga think I'm Latto? You think I'm naked? I'll beat you the fuck up. Oh yeah, I'ma beat her ass.
She said Latto's name more than she said Nikki's name. Listen, this is another thing too, and I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. One of my biggest irks. You don't like a woman. You don't like her, and I wish women would just be like, I don't like that bitch. I would respect you so much more than you to pretend like you do, or you try to make it right with her only because you want to have access to her, but you really don't fucking like her. But you want to stalk her and watch her constantly, but you don't like her. Why do women do that? That is so weird to me. That's like female incel behavior. Like, it's okay to be like, I don't like somebody. And you know what? You know what's authentic? You don't need a reason. If you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody. You don't need a reason. You don't need to be like, well, it's because of this. It's. I respect women that be like, I don't like Yani. And you don't need a reason. But don't watch me. Don't mimic me. Don't copy me. Don't be like trying to keep up with what I got going on in my life. Like, go live your life. Go be great. Go be you. I live in my world and you continue to live in yours. But why do women not like you but still want to be around you, still want to have access to you, still want to follow you on social media? Like, that's weird to me. That is so weird. And you know what it mimics? Internalized misogyny. Yes. Internalized misogyny. And you know what else is creeping out too when it comes to this whole situation with Latto and Cardi B? Y'all are mad at Latto because she said no. You have a problem with that as a woman? Internalized misogyny. Let's fix it quickly, because she has every right to consent. That's what that is. She said no. You need to respect it and move on. You have an issue with a woman saying no, she don't want to be friends with you no more? That's that internalized misogyny when you now all of a sudden you're obsessed. Because we could talk about men stalking women on social media. We could talk about that all day, right? But women are stalking women online too because they got rejected. Why are you still keeping up with that girl and she blocked you? Why are you still keeping up with that girl and she said she don't want to be friends with you no more? Why are you still keeping up with her? Y'all are acting like these men and you don't even realize it, or you make excuses for your behavior. And that's why I said most women want a reverse patriarch. You don't want a true matriarch. Matriarch is all about community, support. It's all about being nurturers. A lot of women, if you look at their behavior, not what they say, if you look at their behavior, if you look at where they are emotionally, if you look at their maturity level, they just want a reverse patriarch. They don't want a matriarch. And I'm not afraid to say the shit because I just be like, you're too inconsistent. And then some of your inconsistencies be mirroring men in the misogynist. And you know what I think it is? Because I'm standing on this. You know what I think it is? I told y'all the reason why I don't call myself a feminist, a modern feminist, is because you have not done the healing so that you can become more emotionally mature than the men, because you keep yourself in that loop with the misogynist and you're in the opposition and y'all go back and forth every day and it's a battle. But in order to be in battle with them, you have to emotionally be on the same level as them. So to be or to understand what I'm saying right now, as I'm having this conversation with you, is you have to elevate. You have to elevate. You got to get past wanting to be constantly in the opposition of the misogynist. You got to elevate past that. Why? Because then you mature emotionally. Right now, you're mirroring the misogynist because you're in the opposition of the misogynist. It's kind of like when you stay in a toxic relationship for so long, and the man in the situation could have been the toxic one, but then you become toxic because you stayed. Your emotional maturity is at the same level as him, even though he led with the toxicity, but now it's at the same level. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Not only that, when you put yourself in that opposition position to the misogynist, you have to keep yourself in survival mode. So you can't heal. You have to constantly be in defense mode with them. So you can't heal and still fight the good fight with them. You can't. And then you're trying to prove to a group of men that don't listen to you. Emotionally intelligent people don't waste their time with that. They elevate past it. They elevate past it. They don't even waste their time, give energy. And then this is another thing too that I also realized, okay? The misogynist and the feminist going neck to neck, right? Another thing that you got to understand, men are harvesting your energy. They're harvesting it. And there's a difference between siphoning versus harvesting. They're harvesting with your energy. They're harvesting with it. All that energy that you're giving them, they're changing laws. They're taking away your rights. They're literally harvesting it, not siphoning it. Siphoning and harvesting are two totally different energetic exchanges. And it's not even an exchange. It's a robbery of your energy. But if we are getting real about it, they're harvesting with your energy. And this is why I said, I feel like my purpose in life is to elevate beyond just being the feminist and putting myself in survival mode and being in the opposition position of the misogynist. It's time for you to elevate to being the divine feminine, not just the feminist. That can be a part of your identity, but some of y'all are wanting to make it your whole identity. And there is more to your identity than just being in the opposition to the misogynist. There's more to that. And if you go farther back in history, because some of you need to read books, like you need to read literature on what society was like with women in it before we had to become feminists. Like you need to see what was it like to be a woman? What did it mean to be a woman outside of just being in opposition to men? And then I even thought about it further, right? Further is the reason why women's empowerment has turned into centering men is because we stay stuck in the opposition against or versus the misogynist. This is why everything involves, when it comes to women's empowerment in modern day times, involves men constantly. 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 So it's not supposed to, though. It's supposed to be about our wombs. It's supposed to be about our intuition. It's supposed to be about our unique identities, our essence, our spirit. It's supposed to be about all of these other things. It's not just supposed to be about men. But if you stay in that loop, it's always going to be about them. It's always going to be about them because you're constantly in that opposition to them, the misogynist. You're in that loop of survival. You don't have time for anything else. And they're harvesting your energy. You don't have time for yourself for real. You don't have time to elevate. You don't have time to heal and to truly improve and work on yourself. So I hope women are waking up to that. Like, you got to move on. Like, you got to move on. I'm not saying that you just ditch being a womanist or a feminist. I feel like it's in you. It will always be a part of you, but it can't be your whole identity. You're making it your whole identity. There's so much more to you than just being the feminist and being in the opposition survival loop of the misogynist. And they're harvesting your energy with the energy that you give them while keeping yourself in that loop. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna beat her. Any red carpet, any fucking show I see her, any fucking event, I'm gonna fucking beat her. I'm gonna go in that mouth. I'm going in that mouth. I told you before, I don't have a problem with her. I told you before, I don't have a problem with her. I always tell me what I told you about her thing, about the verse with Cash Go Bang. Yo, y'all need to work it out. Y'all need to work it out because you need to be on the song. Y'all want to fucking play in my face? I'm going to beat the shit out of her. I'm not like none of these rap bitches. I'm not like none of these rap bitches. I'll fuck all y'all niggas up.
She just threw all the rap girlies under the bus.
Fuck the verse, nigga. Shut the fuck up. Ain't no fucking verse. I'm going to beat her. She did it. She couldn't like... No, I'm going to beat her the fuck up. Okay?
Listen, Cardi, she's a Karen to me. She's a Karen to me. She can get away with whatever she want to get away with. She got the privilege of a Karen to me. Because there's, how do you excuse this? And then this another thing too, is she released the apology because Latto wanted to address it publicly on the album. So now she wants to publicly apologize. But if she sincerely thought that a public apology would be better, then she would have did it way before. Like, why is she doing it now? Because Latto decided to make it a part of her rollout? Doesn't Cardi B do the same thing when it comes to her own life dramas? She makes it a part of her rollout to sell records, to sell albums. Why is it only, Cardi can do it, but Latto can't? I don't understand that. That's what I don't understand. There's some inconsistencies with that.
Y'all niggas think I'm playing? You think that I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I don't give a fuck who your daddy is, nigga. James, go ahead, talk to Ice White. Let her know she has an issue. Now. An issue? She have an issue. She gonna get beat.
And that's why I decided to address Ace and Cardi in the same video, because I really want to see, are y'all gonna keep the same energy? Y'all know I'm crazy. Like, y'all know I'm crazy. Y'all know I'm calculated. You know I'm crazy, right? You gonna keep the same energy? Because You can't be you can't be like, oh fuck Ace, oh fuck his apology, and then be like, well, I accept Cardi's apology. You can't. Y'all know I'm crazy as hell. Like, why? No, absolutely not. No. So which is it? Which is it? Which is it? I want to know. I seriously want to know, because with me, I know what side I'm on. I know, and it's like I'm not accepting no apology. And Latto don't owe this girl shit. Girl, you was dogging me. You was dogging me more than your op, Nikki. It's crazy. I just don't understand. I'm not a Latto. I'm not a Latto.
Where y'all niggas at? Where y'all niggas at?
So I don't know. The comments are gonna be interesting to me. Y'all know I'm crazy.
The Ice Spice situation when y'all were in y'all moment, and then y'all literally were public about the reconciliation and all those things. Like,
but why did y'all squash that one? Like, because that could have went on forever, but y'all decided to squash it and did it with record. I thought that was dope.
I don't know. I'm like growing up. I'm just growing up, and I just be like, shit don't be that deep. Oh, her manager had called my manager.
Hold on. We gotta pause. We got okay.
And was like, she trying to squash it. Like she want to do music, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I am open to that. Open to that.
Okay. What's your Latto?
I love that. She said,
especially when it's something that was like for no reason. Anyways, like that shit was one of them.
Especially when it's something that was for no reason. That leaked audio, that leaked audio, that's totally different, y'all. I'm sorry. And then we're gonna get into it. Let me not rush. We're gonna get into it. Do y'all not know the difference? Because I actually had this happen to me. I was in a trio dynamic where a girl was trying to create a triangulation, right? But let's just say the audience tried to create this triangulation and pin these two women together, right? I've actually had this happen. So I talked to the girl and I sit down with her and I'm like, I never had an issue with you. And then we were able to just move past it because there was no issue to begin with. We're not going to be in our ego about it. Why would we be in our ego about it? We're not going to be in the ego about it because there was nothing to have an issue with, or there was no issue to begin with. Why would we continue on in our ego about something that it never existed? There was never a problem at all. Just a misunderstanding. So it's not the same.
Times where I let like Twitter and like just like noise get in my head, and probably she could say the same. I can't speak for her, but I'm guessing that's the same for her, and we both was probably on some like, bitch, what we even beefing about again? Like both, and we got more in common than differences. So it's like,
it's not the same. I'm sorry. It's not the same. But let's get into the girls that feel like Latto needs to let it go.
My whole take on the whole Latto and Cardi, whatever the fuck they got going on, is that Latto is a weird ass bitch. Let's start there. Because how you go back and do a song with a bitch like Ice?
I personally feel like just straight out the gate, she don't like Latto. And that's fine. But she's not weird though for not squashing the situation with Cardi B over this. She's not weird with it. You don't like her. And that's fine. I honor that. I respect that. But to say she's weird because she won't let the Cardi B situation go is insane to me.
That was dissing the fuck out of you. And you make a video with the bitch too. Let's not forget. But when Cardi publicly apologized and said she would buy you a bag, try to contact you, your team, and your sisters, you want to get on Breakfast Club laughing when they ask, are you going to take the bag back or not? And then make a diss talking about your nigga is going to get you the bag or whatever. Bitch, you can't even post 21.
Okay, you don't like her. But what I want to talk about too, though, is a lot of women feel like because they apologized after they disrespected you, mind you, they disrespected you with dogging you behind your back, not to your face. And that's another thing. Dogging somebody behind their back and not to their face is insane to me. It's insane to me. You get caught dogging out the girl behind, she finds out and it's being done behind her back, and you feel like an apology is just gonna make it all right. A bag is just gonna make it all right. Are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? Y'all would hate me. Y'all would hate me. Y'all would hate me. I will never trust your ass ever again. I can't drink alcohol around you because I get a little drunk one night with you and you say some shit like this. Let me show you. You say some shit like this and I may jump on you. For real. I'm for real. I'm for real. That's why if I start to think like I can't drink around you, I can't be around you. I can't be around you. That's me being responsible. That's me being responsible so I don't go to jail and stuff like that. Okay, that's me being responsible. If I can't drink around you because you may do some shit like this and we out kicking it and I'm a little drunk and you say some shit like that, I may pounce on you. And I mean that.
I'm so glad we decided to squash it. Like, this is growth. I know. Like, I'm just ready to put it all behind us and move forward. Like, let's just move forward. I mean, yeah, because you were tripping. Hello? Like, you are so dramatic and so sensitive. Like, I told my friends what happened, and they can't even believe I'm over here right now talking to you. Ain't that crazy? Like, we all call you like the Beyonce because the theatrics and the drama. Like, it's our own little thing. It's funny. It's nothing but girl.
See, I think about stuff like this. I think about stuff like this. This is the type of stuff I think about. And I'm intoxicated with you. Your life is in danger and you don't even realize it. Your life is in danger. And then I know how I get. I get quiet. I get real quiet. And y'all know I like to talk. I like to chat. But if I start to get quiet, you done trigger something deep in me. Deep, girl, your life is in danger. You should get away from me. And I got alcohol in me. You need to get away from me. You need to get away from me. For real. For real. This is why I don't let people back in. Once you're cut off, you're done. You're done. We can't do this again because what? You get too comfortable and then you say stuff like this. That's crazy. This is why I don't do redos. This is exactly why. Oh, you were being sensitive? Sensitive would send me over the moon, y'all. Sensitive would send me to hell. Because what? No. This is why. This is exactly why I don't do second chances. This is exactly why when you cut off, you cut off. I don't care if you gave a handbag, an apology. It don't matter because if you was to ever say some shit like this to me, your life would be in danger.
So sensitive. Like, I told my friends what happened, and they can't even believe I'm over here right now talking to you. Ain't that crazy? Like, we all call you like the Beyonce because the theatrics and the drama. Like, it's our own little thing. It's funny. It's nothing but girl, you are a drama queen. I don't think I was being dramatic. So sensitive. Oh my God. But anyway, speaking of my friend group, you know my one friend that just swear up and down she's so rich? Girl, why her car got repo? That's exactly what she gets walking around town acting like she bigger than the program. Like she don't got an Applebee's budget. I swear, like, even though, you know, I rode around the car with her and I hang around her a lot, I cannot stand her.
I gave y'all an example. I gave you an example. I know myself. And this is another thing too. When I tell y'all to do your shadow work, it's so that you know yourself, right? You know your dark side. It's important. So then you don't put yourself in situations like this. Because I'm be honest with you. I don't handle situations like this well. I don't. Sensitive. I was triggered watching this. This is a skit. This isn't even real. This isn't even real. Overreacting, sensitive. I don't know when I would have pounced on her, y'all. I think it would have been after she said overreacted. I think overreacted would have did it for me, y'all. I think it would have just whoop. And this is why you got to know yourself. You got to know the bad, right? You got to know the shadow side, right? So then you don't put yourself in situations like this. So because I know myself so well and I know my shadow side so well and I love her so much, so I don't trigger her at all so that we don't end up in jail or anything like that. I don't do redos. I don't do redos. And this is why. So yeah, it's just we can't do it. I'm sorry. And some of y'all not being real. Some of y'all not being real at all. Y'all not being real. You know, or I don't know. Like, I've been around girls where they really don't be liking each other and they be negging each other. They just constantly negging each other. They really don't like each other for real. The little slide jokes, remarks, and comments and stuff like that. I'm not that type of person. I can't joke with you like that. I can't, especially if we had issues and it was an issue kind of similar to this, and then now you're negging me, but you're calling it a joke, and you're somewhat bringing the situation back up through the joke or through the negging and things like that. Yeah, like, I'm not the type that jokes with people like that. I don't play around like that at all. That's very disrespectful to me. I will never get past it. But I have been around other girls that do that to each other. That's what they do to each other, and I'm not the type of person that tolerates that type of stuff. So it ain't for me, honey. I'm sorry. It ain't for me. So I just avoid it altogether. So then I don't have any issues. So that I don't have to worry about being the problem. Because again, you know, it's all about the role that you play in situations. So if I know that that side of me can come out because I'm choosing to put myself in a certain position or situation, now that's on me. That's not on the other person. Me pouncing on her and jumping on her because she said you overreacted and she trying to be funny and joking about it casually. Now it's on me. It's not on her. You see what I'm saying? So to prevent that completely, I don't do second chances. I don't do redos. I don't. It's a wrap.
My whole take on the whole Latto and make a video with the bitch too. Let's not forget. But when Cardi publicly apologized and said she would buy you a bag, try to contact you, your team, and your sisters, you want to get on Breakfast Club laughing when they ask, are you going to take the bag back or not? And then make a diss talking about your nigga is going to get you the bag or whatever. Bitch, you can't even post 21. A lot of people don't even know you date 21 Savage because he don't post you, you don't post him. If that's your nigga, why you can't post him? But you saying he got racks, he'll buy you the bag. Okay, bitch, behind closed doors. Cardi really should have took it to hell, and that's why I hate when Cardi be too nice.
Take it to hell. She was wrong. What are y'all talking about? She was wrong in the situation. And this is why it gives I don't like her. I don't like her. And I wish some women would just be real about it. Like, I don't like her. Okay, cool. Now you don't need to chime in on this then. You don't even know how to be fair. Like, that's the thing. Even when it came to the Megan Thee Stallion situation, I didn't like her. But I wasn't about to drag her when I saw that man do what he did. It's like, do women know how to be emotionally intelligent and mature? Like, girl, you can't even be fair in this situation. Cardi was dead ass wrong. And if the shoe was on the other foot and it wasn't your fave Cardi, it was some other woman, you wouldn't take that woman's apology. You may accept the apology, but you wouldn't have that woman back around you if the shoe was on the other foot. Come on now.
Because bitches really be weird and pick and choose. And Latto is a pick and choose ass bitch. I don't care what nobody says. Like, bitch, please. She put you on her track, got you back popping on the charts, and you gonna do my bitch Cardi like this? No, I really do hope she come back with that fire. I ain't gonna lie. We need Cardi to hit the studio like ASAP. Because I'm mad right now.
Okay. I have no words.
I said I was gonna talk about it because y'all know I'm a yapper. Cardi B, I'm not mad at you. I am a woman that can admit I've said some shit when I was mad too.
And thank you. The women that are defending Cardi are the women that do this weird ass shit. Thank you. But remember what I said. I said loyal people don't need second chances. We don't. People that are real don't need second chances. We were real the first time. We were loyal the first time. We were genuine the first time. How we showed up was not fake. It was not a performance. It was real the first time. Good or bad. Good or bad or indifferent. If we showed our ass, we really showed our ass and we really meant that shit. You know what I mean? If we was a bitch to you, we was a bitch to you, and we it was genuine. Whether you liked it or not. I don't understand why It has to be this situation with Cardi is, oh yeah, like I'm yeah, like Cardi, I'm not mad at you, but it just comes across as entitled. Like it does. And this is what be so strange to me about women. Why do y'all be feeling so entitled? If you was talking bad about the girl behind her back, why do you still feel entitled to her? That is weird. Y'all are acting like misogynistic men. Do you not understand it? A man can abuse a woman, dog her out, but still feel like I deserve access to her. Y'all are acting like the man. Are you aware? This is where the contradiction comes in. Why do you still feel entitled to somebody that you was talking bad about behind their back? Disrespecting them. It's crazy. It's a level of entitlement that needs to be addressed. And then instead of you just accepting it like men don't want to, the misogynists, like they don't want to, instead of you just accepting it that you weren't a good person to this woman and just accept it and move on. No, you still want access. Sometimes y'all harass, y'all stalk, y'all try to turn other people against the woman in the situation because she don't want to deal with you anymore. That's weird. And you know what it is? It mirrors, just like the misogynist, it mirrors that woman. You don't want her to have consent when it comes to her life and her choices. The entitlement is insane to me.
When everything came out and she ran to the internet and said, you know what? I'm sorry. I was mad. I was upset. They took balls. She could have been quiet. She couldn't say.
And then y'all acting like the misogynist. Y'all acting like the misogynist. So because she did the right thing, which is what she's supposed to do if you're a good person, she deserves praise. That's what the fuck she was supposed to do. Just like that man was supposed to take care of his kids. He don't need to be praised for that. That's what the fuck he's supposed to do. He created them. She did what she did. It was dead ass wrong. Her apologizing was what the fuck she was supposed to do. Oh, I hate when women show me why men don't take us serious. Like I hate when y'all show me why men don't take us serious. Like I do. I do. I hate when y'all show me why men don't take us serious. I hate seeing where men be coming from. I don't like that, y'all. It really bothers me. Like it really bothers me because then it makes me feel like I don't have a leg to stand on. But you know what it is? I'm gonna stop speaking for all women. That's what it is. I can only speak for myself and the women who are like myself, and that's it. Because I have 2 legs to stand on, 10 feet to stand 10 toes down on, and it is what it is. But I can't speak for the rest of y'all because I mean, come on, seriously, y'all are literally mirroring them. Y'all are mirroring them, and I don't mirror them at all. Nothing about them, nothing about me and my behavior and how I carry myself as a woman mirrors the misogynist at all. Nothing of not how I think, not how I see women. If a woman tells me no, I have to respect it. She don't want to be friends with me no more, I have to respect it. I don't get to, if someone sets a boundary with me, like she blocks me, right? And I'm like, oh, let me see how I can work around that boundary. That's what misogynists do. Let me see if I can page and keep with her behind the fake, keep up with her life or her social media behind a fake page. That is what misogynistic men do. And then women will say, well, I'm decentering men, but you're not decentering their behavior and their ways. You're actually mimicking them and you're mirroring them in a lot of different ways. And then you don't even realize it because you don't have a good level of self-awareness.
Because public humiliation deserves a public apology. I always believe that. Public humiliation deserves a public apology. I'm big now, especially in the most recent years, on owning up to your shit and apologizing for things that were your part. I always tell people I've been in so many situations to where it was maybe 5% my fault or how I responded or whatever. I still find myself apologizing for certain things, or trying to redirect, like, okay, how did I mess up in this situation? How can I fix this? But it's been situations where I was wrong, completely wrong with Cardi B. And she, said what she said and got caught. And she was able to apologize. Now for Latto to come out, I was the whole song, sweetheart. They squashed it.
Okay, so what I want to point out to, especially the girls that are doing shadow work, I see you, sis. I'm rooting for you. The reason why people like this, the women like this, right, feel like they're owed something is because they do things from an egotistical place. The apology was supposed to garner them some type of acceptance to feed their ego, to make them feel like, see, I'm a good person. See, I'm a good person. But was it genuine though? Or was it just performance? Because now your ego took a hit and you don't like how that feels. So now you perform, okay, to make your ego feel better. And the only way your ego can really feel better is if people accept your apology. If you're not doing something from an egotistical place, you're not performing at all, you're truly genuinely apologizing, you're not looking for claps and praises. You did the right thing because you did the right thing. Because you truly saw the wrong in what you did. So you're not looking for someone to clap for you. You're not looking for someone to praise you. You're not looking for an audience at all, because you didn't do it from ego, which means you didn't do it from performance. You truly did it because you reflected. You went inward and you said, you know what? I was wrong for that. And I apologize. And they have every right, especially if you know how bad it was. You know what you said. You know what you did, and it was bad. And if you were really reflective, you would consider, okay, if I was in the same situation, I probably would feel the same way. You know what? I probably wouldn't even want to hear from me. I probably wouldn't even look for an apology from me. But I can tell that these women are not doing that type of work. They're only going as far as their ego and what will make their ego feel better. So they apologize through performance, and they're looking for that praise. They're looking for that acceptance, and that's it. And if they don't get it, then now they're back to what they were on before. They're back to it. So that's why you can't always trust apologies. You cannot. And you know who else do this? Men. Toxic men do it as well. Toxic men do it. That's why I always tell you, if a man come back in your life and he's apologetic and everything like that, his ego is bruised. You left him. You walked away. You wanted nothing to do with him. You removed access. His ego is bruised. So now he comes back. He wants to make things right. He wants to apologize, but he didn't do any inner work. He didn't reflect inward at all. He only thought, what would make my ego feel better? An apology. Maybe she'll forgive me and she'll accept me again. She'll give me access again. And a lot of women grant that access. And then you know what he does? He does the same shit that he did the first time, a second time. So you can't always trust that people who apologize really did the reflective work to see the errors in their ways. You cannot assume that they went that far with it when it comes to their apology with you. You cannot assume that at all. And that's why when it comes to this Cardi B situation, is she genuinely apologizing? I think it's a little too late for that. Same thing with Ace. It's a little too late. It's a little too late for that. The public shouldn't be feeling some type of way or looking at you different for you to feel like, oh, you know what? I should say something. I should apologize. You should have already been reflective when it happened. When you hurt the person. Not when, oh, you seeing how people are not really rocking with you after the fact. That's all ego. So what follows after that is a performance. What's gonna make me look better within my persona? That's it. That's as far as people go. So be careful when you be letting people back in your life and they be all apologetic and stuff like that. You really need to ask yourself, did they really do the work? Did they really reflect? Did they really, really go inward and see the errors in their ways? Or are they just wanting me to accept an apology because it makes them feel better egotistically? You have to ask yourself that question.
But I was super duper proud of Cardi standing 10 toes down and saying I was still wrong, because, well, let's be real. Most people won't double down on their apology. Not when you put me in a whole song, sweetheart. And Cardi could go bar for bar, but Cardi was like, you know what? I'm still wrong. I was just the same way you say you was emotional. I was hormonal or whatever. I was still wrong. And I still apologize.
And I hate when y'all do stuff like this and y'all say, I was hormonal. Men are listening. Men are listening. Men are listening. This is the main reason why they always say women are too emotional and hormonal. They don't need to be leading nothing. Men are listening when y'all say that. When y'all use that as an excuse. Men are listening. They are listening. They're listening.
And let's not act like I'm just being real. I'm be a real person. And that's why I can have these conversations with my friends now, especially back in the day when I was irrational in my feelings, not thinking about what I was saying or whatever, things I'm going through. I just said some messed up stuff that I didn't mean by my sister, my mama, my daddy, whatever. I'm so glad that it went.
Listen, y'all, I'm not about to do the whole bar for bar thing. I already told y'all. My favorite rapper in right now, modern times, is Ken the Man. She's the only consistent one I've seen. I know y'all gonna be like, well, what about that? I said Ken the Man. That's it. I really think that her lyrics is just a girl that be in the booth talking shit and she just be having fun. But I also think that she really truly she lives the life that she raps about, because she just be joking and having fun in that booth, y'all. Like, she be in the car just coming up with raps. I've seen her. So I'm just like, listen. She's the only one that I trust out of all the rap girls. She the only one that I really just love. Like, seriously. I just do. And she's a Gemini. I just, yeah. So, bar for bar, I don't know about that. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Publicly put out there. I had to go back and renounce what I said. Sometimes you so angry, you forget. But it takes a big person to apologize and double down on apology, even after the person come out and say, sure, yeah, I was talking about her. Yeah, I felt some type of way. And like, again, to reiterate, Latto has
wait, see, this is the thing that be killing me.
What I said, sometimes you so angry, you forget. But it takes a big person to apologize and double down on apology, even after the person come out and say, sure, yeah, I was talking about her. Yeah, I felt some type of way. And like, again,
this is my thing, y'all. Why does it take being such a big person to do the right thing? It don't take a big person to do the right thing. It takes an adult to do the right thing. When it comes to kids, I'm like, they still learning. But it takes a big person. You an adult. It don't, like, what are we talking about? You are an adult. And this is why I'm saying, I know men be listening to this shit like, you are an adult. You are the big person. So you should have been the big person before you even did the shit, but you didn't. Okay? So you should still be the adult and right your wrongs and just apologize. But don't expect for the other adult to just accept it and look past what you did.
Reiterate, Latto has every reason to feel the way she feel. But I'm just kind of disappointed because I think people forget that we as humans fuck up. And I tell my kids that every day, but it's your job when you fuck up to...
I'm sorry, y'all. This is not a simple... This Cardi B situation is not a simple fuck up. It's not. It's a character flaw. That's not a simple fuck up. Like, a simple fuck up is, girl, I forgot to call you on your birthday. I am so sorry. I got so busy. I was so busy with work. I was so busy with these damn kids. Girl, I was busy and I forgot to text you. I forgot to reach out for your birthday. This is a character flaw. This is a character flaw. This is not a simple, oh, no. This is somebody showing you how they really feel about you. This is somebody showing you that they don't have integrity, because someone with integrity would never do this. Never. And that's another thing is some people, I be noticing this too, and I'm gonna keep mentioning this. Most people I'm noticing only have integrity when there's an audience. But behind closed doors, if nobody is watching, ain't nobody looking, that integrity shit go right out the window. It go right out the window. So if you're publicly seen without integrity, I will never trust you again. Cause I'm like, girl, if this is the type of stuff that you do and it gets leaked publicly, what do you do when there's no one can leak it or it can't be exposed? I'ma always question that. Because a person that really has integrity, they have integrity when no one is watching. They have integrity when people are watching. They have integrity. So no, this is a character flaw. This is truly, truly a character flaw. She mentioned her name more than she mentioned Nicki Minaj. And that was very weird to me. And then not only that, this is the icing on the cake for me too. She called her weak. So she would be weak. I'm being real with you. Latto would be weak to let this woman back around her after saying some crazy ass shit. She would be weak as hell to let that woman back around her. So now that Latto is standing on no, I'm not letting it go. I'm not squashing it. Now it's she this and she that. This woman literally said she was weak. She was a weak ass bitch. I'm not a Latto. I'm not a weak ass bitch. And then y'all expect for her to be cool with her again? Wouldn't that make her a weak bitch still? Wouldn't it make her being a weak bitch true? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So now that she put her foot down and she's saying no, it's a problem.
Apologize. And a lot of people will tuck their fucking tails. And I'm being very vulgar in saying this because I've dealt with it. Like,
well, Latto is not tucking her tail. She said, I don't fuck with her. She not tucking her tail. That's how this whole thing started. And it's another thing too. If you got somebody around you and they keep putting you down, they telling you how they really feel about you. That negging, them little slick remarks that they be making, they really, 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 really telling you how they feel about you. They really telling you how they feel about you, and you not seeing it. I don't know why you're not seeing it. I don't know why. Because why would they even say something like that if they don't see you in that way? To create that sentence, to say what she said, she does not think highly of you. She can't. It's impossible. Because you can't be in two spaces in your mind about a person. You just can't. You see her like that. So she doesn't even think that highly of her. And where I come from, you got to have people around you that think highly of you, or it's always going to be an issue. It's always going to be an issue. So that's another reason. Like, I wouldn't want her around me. I'm like, you don't even think that highly of me at all. Hell, you think I'm a dumb bitch. That's what you think. And I'm gonna let you back around so you can continue to think I'm a dumb bitch. Come on now.
I've given so much grace in people thinking like, oh, they were not in the right mindset or they weren't doing the same thing. Like, the grace that I have irritates me sometimes because most of the time, all you gotta do is apologize to me and mean it and just see you're wrong.
And I see why men cheat and y'all let them back in. I see. All he got to do is apologize, and I'm gonna let him back in. And it's all forgiven. Even though he ain't shown me that he's truly changed at all, I'm gonna let him back in because he apologized. I see how they're able to wiggle back in. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard. And the reason why I keep mentioning men, I'm only mentioning men because you need to keep the same energy. Y'all don't be keeping the same energy. Y'all don't. And another thing too, Latto, because I'm gonna be real as hell. I'm gonna be real when I say this. Now, if 21 Savage, if he do some disrespectful shit publicly and you don't drop his ass the first time, oh, I'm gonna have something to say. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, but that's her baby daddy. That's her baby. I don't give a damn. I don't care. When you really want respect and you truly know your worth, you know your value, you don't accept that disrespect from anyone. Family, friends, a man, a coworker, no one can disrespect you and no one can talk to you crazy or talk crazy about you. Period. So I am gonna be clocking that. I'm gonna be clocking it. I'm be watching for that too. I'm be watching to see if 21 Savage embarrass her or do something publicly to disrespect her, and I'm gonna be looking at Latto like, you dropping them, right? You cutting them off, right?
Getting it, and then we can talk about it. We can discuss, because I see the good in all people, especially if you's around me. I've seen great in you, but you tuck your tail and want to be bigger and bolder instead of just saying I was wrong, I was drunk, or I was this, or I was that. I stand with Cardi B because we are human. We miss.
You know what? The girls want to be rewarded for for apologizing. I reward the girls that change. I don't award girls for apologizing or taking ownership through verbal display. I reward the girls that change. Like a Angela White. One thing that I forgot to mention was you can see the growth in Angela White, and you can see how Heather Sanders has not grown at all. Angela White deserves to be celebrated because she changed in a real way. And I watched that interview that she did with Heather Sanders on her podcast, and she said, I'm just so sensitive these days. And when you truly heal and you really work on yourself, you become more sensitive because you're not numb to everything and everyone. You're actually dealing with your shit in a real way. You're not drinking. You're not avoiding. So because you're confronting things and you're confronting things in real time, you become sensitive because you're not numbing yourself anymore to your own destructive ways and to the trauma that may have been caused since you were a child. So when you have conversations, healing conversations like that, you're very sensitive. So I was able to clock like, damn, Angela White really did do the work. Like she really did. She really did. You can see it in her spirit. You can see it in how she talks and just how she shows up. She's sensitive because she really did do the work. She's sober. There's so many signs that she really did do the work. Women like that deserve all the praise. But an apology, an apology.
I know some people getting online giving this whole yip yap about stuff. But I'm not arguing with nobody about this. Y'all can get in the comments and say, give me a different. I'm not arguing because you know how hard it is to double down on an apology. You know how hard it is to apologize anyway. And she doubled down on the apology even after Latto said what she said on the radio station. She still gets love me some Cardi, and I love her even more. But hold on, I got a book for y'all. So I'm reading this. I just got it from the library, The 5 Languages of Apology, and I'm starting on it. And I have no shame in apologizing now these days when I'm wrong, because I dissect a lot of things that I've done, and I'm very aware of things I've done to people. But it's just a way of apologizing, basically like a love language situation.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the girls that are truly defending Cardi, I'm only playing this because the girls that are truly defending Cardi are Cardi. Like they act like her. They be talking about their friends behind their back. And if they were to ever find out about it, they would expect an apology. They would expect an apology. And listen, I had a friend like that. I had a best friend, ex-best friend of 10 years. And I found out the shit that she was saying behind my back. We were done. We were through. Not everybody is gonna accept an apology from you. You're crazy, especially when it comes to the things that you was out here saying behind her back, the things that you were out here doing behind that said friend's back. Not everyone is just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let you back in. And you know what? I also was the type of person that sat back and I watched her. The whole time she didn't think I didn't know what was going on. The whole time she didn't think that I was hearing all the things that she was saying behind my back. I heard every word. I saw everything. And you know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see how far she was going to take it. And you know what? She took it extremely far. And you want to know why? Because she thought that she was just going to be able to apologize and I was just going to be able to accept it. And she was going to be able to get back access into my life. I'm not like that. I'm not like that at all. Because I sat back and watched her. I'm like, ain't no way we could really be friends because I would never do you like that. Ever. I would never dog you out to my other friends about you like this. This is crazy. Anytime I've ever came on this platform to talk about a friend, it's been an ex-friend, not a current friend. Not a current friend. I'm done with them. I've cut them off. I don't want anything to do with them. So I come on here and I share my experiences, but we're done. We're through. Even the men that I talk about on here, we're done. We're through. It's over with. It's done. It's dead. It's over. So anytime I come on here and share my experiences in life, it's over with. It's done. It's not, there's no continuation. There's no back and forth. There's none of that. So it's crazy. And I think that when people really do this, right? They disrespect you and they do it and they constantly do it with no remorse. Cause that's what I saw. I was like, this girl don't have no remorse for me at all. Like there was no guilty conscience in her mind. I sat back and I watched her. And then sometimes your friends think so low of you, they think you a dummy. They think you a dumb bitch. So they don't even know that you watching them. They don't even know that you can see them. You can hear them. You can hear the conversations that they're having behind your back because they think you're fucking dumb. And so they went to the extreme. They said everything. They did everything. They trashed you. And they thought that if they just apologize, all would be forgotten and all would be erased. And I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of person because I saw too much because you did too much. You did way too much and I saw too much and I saw a side of you that I don't like and I will never like ever in my life ever again. Some of us are like that. And why are we like that? Because we're genuine the first time. We're genuine the first time. Not the second time, not when we got caught red-handed doing some shit that was a shock to you or to others. We were genuine the first time. We were real the first time. We were loyal the first time. We don't need second chances. I ain't never needed a second chance from anybody in my life. Ever. Never. Not once. Not from my daddy, my mama, my brothers, nothing. Dependable, reliable, solid. Every single time. Consistent every single time. People can speak on my character every single time. Every single time. It don't change. It don't change. It don't change. So it's crazy. The women that are defending Cardi are the women that need women or other people to be open to an apology. That's all that this is. That's all that it is. That is all that this is.
Like apologizing, accepting apologies, and figuring out that sometimes people apologize in the ways of their basically their love language. Everybody apologizes in different ways, but everybody accepts apologies in different ways. So I started this book. It's really good. I think you guys should read it. And I can't wait till I finish it because it's really a art of apologies, because the way basically this book is saying, the way I might apologize, somebody might think it's bullshit, and the whole time it's just my art or the way I'm apologizing because of how I love. And it's the same thing for other people. But anyway,
and I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like you should truly only apologize if you're genuinely sorry. For real. Like I don't apologize unless I'm genuinely sorry. So just like with the ex-friend that I'm talking about, I'm not sorry for how I handled the situation at all. I'm not apologetic about anything that I said and anything I did. What I said and what I did, I meant it, and I don't have any regrets. And I felt like I handled the situation pretty well. I would never apologize at all. It would never be, oh, let me apologize. That would be some people pleasing ass shit. Because I was wronged in the situation. And I defended myself. I'm not apologizing for defending myself. So to me, you should only apologize if you're genuinely sorry. If you truly felt like you did something wrong. But I reflected and I sat on it. And I felt like I didn't do anything wrong at all. At all. I was wronged in the situation. Not a victim. I was wronged in the situation. So the role that I played and how I showed up, I'm very proud of how I showed up. I don't feel like there's anything that I need to apologize for. So I'm not, and that's the thing. Some people want you to apologize for defending yourself against the weird behavior that they did. That's people pleasing. If you know you didn't do anything wrong and you know you were wronged in the situation, what are you apologizing for? That's people pleasing. So I reflected, I looked at it and I'm just like, no, if the same thing happened again in the same way that it happened, I would do the same. I would show up the same way. I wouldn't do anything different. Nothing different. And I don't always say that. I don't always say that about certain situations that I've been in. Like other situations, I felt like I did owe that said person an apology. But I wasn't just apologizing to apologize. I was apologizing because I really felt like I did not show up my best. I didn't handle it correctly, the situation correctly. I could have went about it better. Or I should have seen it. I should have seen it from this perspective, and then I probably would have handled it differently. But unfortunately, I didn't see it from that perspective at that time. But now that I do, I apologize. That's when you really know you're genuinely apologizing to someone and not just doing it out of ego or guilt.
Whole nother subject for another day. What y'all think? Drop your comments.
Okay, let me see. What else?
And see, this is why I don't hang out with a lot of bitches.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Don't how and this is how whenever I'm going through like real life experiences, don't move in a way where you need to apologize. Seriously. 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 Don't move in a way where you need to apologize. At all. At all. Because I think about the conversation that I had, the last conversation that I had with my ex-best friend, and she was calling me out my name. She was calling me a bitch, and she was saying I was a weirdo, right? I've been weird my whole life. This is not a shocker. But that's when I realized when she was calling me a bitch and she was saying, you're weird, I've been weird. Where you been at? You don't like me being weird when it comes to my personality? And when I say being weird, like I'm just into shit that's not common or popular and shit. Like I'm not into the waves of things all the time. Like I be into some other shit. And she called me weird for that. But copies and mimics. So I realized through that conversation, right, when she was calling me a bitch and she was saying I was weird and all of these things, I realized she didn't like me. So instead of calling her a bitch back, instead of calling her out her name and saying she's this and saying she's that, I decided, because I knew I was never going to talk to her again. In that moment, I was like, you know what? Let me handle this in a way that I will always be proud of, that I will never have to apologize for. In that moment. So you know what I told her? I told her about herself in a real way. I said, you always fall out with women. You always fall out with women that are successful. Why? I started listing off every last girl she fell out with. Never called her out her name. I only spoke the truth to her. She was mad. Never called her out her name, never disrespected her. And you want to know why? Because I was truly a genuine friend to her. So I would never stoop that low. But I did read her though. I did. I read her to filth and I gave her a list. I said what her, and I said, add me to the list, click, block. Done. That's how it ended. Never cussed her out, never called her out her name. And it was just that simple. So you should never move in a way to where you need to apologize. Let's start there. Let's really start there. And that was me in the situation being done wrong. But still, I still started there. I'm like, let me handle this in a way where I won't have to apologize about it later. Because I'm actually done with you. You don't realize it. You're saying all of these hurtful things or whatever. And a lot of this shit, I don't even know if you believe or not, because if I'm so weird, you wouldn't copy me. Like that's weird. You wouldn't mimic me, right? If I'm so weird, you would not be mimicking me. So it's cool. And I used to the mimicking I let slide because I thought she just saw me as an inspiration, right? So when girls mimic me, I don't get mad about it because I'm like, I'm an influencer. Like, what the fuck? Me getting mad about some shit like that. But when you started calling me weird and a bitch, I started looking at it differently. Like, So you've been copying me and mimicking me this whole time, and you think I'm a weird bitch? This is crazy. That's what didn't make sense. It wasn't that she found me to be inspirational. It's the fact that she had these feelings about me, and I'm just now finding out about it because I set a boundary. So think about in the moment how you react and respond to things in a way to where you don't have to apologize. And this is why I said there's nothing that I feel like I need to apologize for, and I won't. So it's make sure in the moment, and yes, you will be mad. You will be heated. When I tell y'all stories about things that I've experienced in my life, I've always chose my higher self. And in the moment, I would literally black out. I would be talking to my higher self. I'd be talking to God. I'd be like, God, I know this is a test. I know this is a test. This person running off at the mouth. And I'm like, God, I know you testing me. I know you testing me right now. I know this is a test. In that moment, I decide who I'm going to be, my higher self or my lower self. And I always chose my higher self. So whenever I have these falling outs with people, I elevate. I always elevate. And it's because I always chose my higher self. And I feel like these type of situations are tests. They're markers for you to decide you going to elevate and go on to the next level, or you going to stay right here at this level. In that moment, it's a marker because you outgrew not only this person, but the cycle that you met this person in, because you chose your higher self. That is what happens. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And yes, you will be tested. I could think about ex-roommates. I could think about so many different times I chose my higher self. I didn't put my hands on her. I walked away. I chose to apologize in a situation just to alleviate drama. I just had a conversation with my brother the other day about that. I was like, I ended up apologizing to her after the fact just so we could be clear about things, just so we could create a more peaceful environment, because this person is going to be in my life, because that's just how the situation crumbles. So I'm like, you know what? Let me make it right with her. You have to choose your higher self. And when you do, you elevate. I have elevated every single time from choosing my higher self over my lower self. And it was very hard, y'all. It is so hard, especially when your adrenaline, it's the adrenaline that can get the best of you when you're in the thick of it, and you got your adrenaline is going, then your emotions, you may be on your menstrual cycle, so you may be short-tempered, but you still choose your higher self. You're going to elevate from that every single time. You're going to touch the glass ceiling.
Because bitches will say anything. So Latto was just on the Breakfast Club talking about one of her songs. I don't remember what song it was, but basically she had a line where it was in response of what Cardi was talking about with Ice Spice when she had said she was a pussy ass bitch. When I first got on TikTok, I seen the video and then I was looking at the comments because it was like a couple of videos of it. Of course, it just came out. Y'all are literally in the comments talking about she can forgive Ice Spice, but she can't forgive Cardi. She clearly said that her and Ice Spice beef was for nothing. Cardi called her a pussy ass bitch. If you my friend and I'm arguing,
I don't understand why the girls are downplaying that. Like, I really need somebody to explain that to me. You really gonna downplay your friend talking about you like that?
Bitch, I'm not finna bring up, even if she was to say, Latto didn't beat your ass, I'm gonna beat your ass. She called her a pussy ass bitch, like she's some weak ass hoe. And that right there is how I know I could never be friends with you bitches. Because if I'm arguing with somebody, I'm not finna bring up anything that got going on with my friend, even if my friend had beef with you. I'm not finna bring up, oh, I'm not pussy ass Latto. Then on top of that, you made a public apology. Okay, you made a public apology, but then you don't text me till 2 months later trying to talk about it.
2 months later is so insane. That is insane.
Bitch, after 24 hours, I'm already done off a situation, ready to move the fuck on.
And then the crazy thing about Cardi B, if it was Offset, she would have 2 months. Girl, she's already in the sack with that man. She had y'all thinking at the beginning of her tour that she was this heartbroken woman that left this man. She never left Stephon Diggs. She never left that man. She stood beside him through it all. She stood beside him through it all. If it would have been Offset, honestly, if it would have been any of the men that she deals with, she would have been back in the sack with him probably within a few days. It take you 2 months to reach out to the woman and apologize?
2 months later? Bitch, you better be lucky if you won't block.
That's
Like,
crazy. That's
come on
crazy.
now. You gonna say that about your friend and you think we still finna be friends?
That's
Oh,
crazy.
now I'm a pussy ass bitch and the best thing that you can do is make a post and get me a bag? Nah, boo. Nah.
That's crazy, y'all. That is crazy. That's crazy. That is insane.
I like the way that Latto handled this situation. We don't have to be friends after you do weird things to me. Even after the apology. The apology is just to show me that you understand you were wrong and you are taking accountability of whatever the consequences are. And the consequences are that we're not going to be friends anymore. Simple. It doesn't have to be anything after that. And she stood on it, period. Cardi coming back talking about,
Yeah, can y'all like the live, please? Thank you. I really appreciate it.
oh, this, that, and the third. It doesn't matter. She's moved on. You should move on too. There's really nothing else to talk about. I've never been.
And that's the thing, like, I know Cardi said it will be beef forever, but it don't have to be beef. I don't accept your apology. I don't want you back in my life. It was weird and I can't overlook that. But it's not beef though. Like I don't have beef with you. I don't want this ongoing conflict, this back and forth, this competition or anything like that. You live in your world and I live in my world and I hope everything goes well for you, but we will never be cool again ever in life. That's not beef. That's just maturity. I'm moving forward in my life and I hope you move forward in yours, but we're not aligned. I can't be around somebody like that. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. It don't have to be this ongoing beef or I got to go out of my way to dish you in any type of way. Like, listen. And at this point, Lotto should just let it go as far as, okay, she apologized. All right, I'm going to let it go. But that doesn't mean that because she's letting it go, that she has to let this person back around her or they need to be like cool and friends again. They don't. And then were they ever really friends to begin with or were they just working together? Were they just collaborating together?
So desperate for friends where I'm willing to beg for them and be like, well, this is what happened. If they are showing me, hey, because I remember I went through the same thing where I reconnected with people that I had fell out with, and
I'm only saying let it go because she's in postpartum. She just had a baby. That's the only reason why I'm really saying let it go. I'm not saying that it fixes anything. I never said that. I'm saying there's bigger things to be worried about than this at this point. Right. But I'm not saying that she got to let that person back around her at all. She got to be buddy cool. And no, I'm saying I would just let it go because I'm a mom now. I'm going through postpartum and I need to take care of myself. I need to pour into myself. I can't be having my energy split with this type of stuff. Especially right now. It's a very sensitive time for Lotto right now. So that's what I'm saying there. I was like, I'll let it go. Protect your peace. That's what it's about. Protect your peace.
remembered how much I love them, how much I still love them. I don't wish them any harm, but we will never be friends again. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you didn't say sorry, because you did say sorry. We just not gonna be cool. We all reconcile. We gonna keep our distance. It's not even as any animosity. It's just that.
Yeah, I don't and I don't understand why some women just cannot accept that. It's not a beef. I want to move on with my life and yeah, that's all it is. I don't really fuck with you, but Yeah, we just need to go our separate ways. You live your life and I'm gonna live mine. No, women don't know how to let stuff go. Women don't be knowing how to let stuff go. They don't.
Here's my hot take that I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with. If I have no desire to fix the friendship, then I do not need to have the conversation. And I just saw a creator post the opposite, where she said, if someone never has the conversation with you, they were always your enemy to begin with. And while I know where she's coming from,
And again, this has the reason why, okay, the reason why there are some people out here that feel that way is because of their ego. They won't accept that a person does not want to be friends with them. And instead of them being a victim, and they should reflect on how did you show up in that friendship? How did you show up in the friendship? And another thing that I don't like when it comes to these friendship breakups is now it's there's this competition about who's doing better in life. And you know what be irritating me as someone that like constantly is working on self-improving myself? I hate when I was friends with a girl and she was just flat lazy, never wanted to do self-improvement at all, but then we have this falling out, and then all of a sudden there's this motivation. Now all of a sudden there's this determination. All of a sudden now there's this ambition to do better and to be better. And the motivation comes from, let me make said person jealous so that she can feel like she's missing out on being in my life. But then you wonder why she does not want to be friends with you. That's weird. Why weren't you motivated when she was around? Why wasn't you trying to be consistent and working on yourself when she was there? Nothing will ever change how you showed up in that friendship at the time that y'all were connected. Nothing changes that. Not a glow up, not a transformation. Nothing will ever change that, because the experience she had with you wasn't the best. It wasn't the greatest. And instead of you not being a victim and actually sitting with yourself and reflecting on how you showed up, you now want to turn it into a competition. A competition. I don't understand that. I don't. And then another thing too, when I cut somebody off, I don't want to have a conversation, because I don't plan on ever seeing you again, being friends with you again, hanging out with you again, or anything like that. I don't feel like I need to have a conversation with you. That's weird to you plan to cut somebody off, but you need to sit them down and have a conversation. About what? Like, what are we going to talk about? How you getting cut off?
respectfully disagree. In my opinion, if someone has showed me through their actions that they are not someone I want to be associated with, I am not obligated to give them a conversation explaining why I'm no longer fucking with them. Now, on the contrary, if they come to me and say, hey, you've been really distant lately, did I do something wrong? Then I'm happy to explain to them what they did. But most of the time I find with these people, they never come to you to begin with, because they never respected you enough to want to nurture that friendship. I can see from my own eyes through some.
Or they're in their ego. They are in their ego, so they don't want to know how you really feel and what you really think, because they're in their ego about it. So they avoid you, or they don't reach out. They don't want to have a conversation with you. And then I tried, and then he's gonna talk about this too, where he practiced what was it called? Let me see what he says.
Actions, whether I want to be their friend anymore or not. And if my resolution in my head is, I don't want to be friends with that person, I don't need to give them a conversation or an explanation when the end result is still the same. We're not going to be friends anymore because I don't want to be your friend. You can either come and ask me yourself, or we can just slow ghost each other.
I tried the slow ghosting, y'all. That did not work. I tried that slow, like where you slowly kind of back away, you slowly kind of distance yourself, right? Like you don't flat out ignore, but you just try to like distance yourself a little bit, just a little bit. And you set boundaries, you set standards, and they still, what I experienced, because I recently tried this, what I experienced was then this person started to become monitoring. And it was very weird where they weren't really reaching out or reaching out to truly check in. They were monitoring me because I was distant. And I was distant because this person would invite me places that I said I didn't want to go because that was the boundary that I had set. I don't want to go to places where it's the same thing and every single time we do the same thing. I want to go to wellness events. Like I literally told this person what my expectations were. And so this person kept inviting me to certain places that I didn't want to go, and it just kept showing me the misalignment. So then I'm like, okay, let me distance myself, and it was kind of natural at that because the person kept inviting me to do things that I said I didn't want to do. This person knew, I made it known. And then they kept inviting me. So then I tried to do the slow ghosting, try to distance a little bit. And then the person became very monitoring. I was being monitored on social media. I was being monitored through text. I was being checked in on, but not really genuinely checked in on. It was more monitoring than anything. After I set the boundary and I said, hey, I want to do other things outside of the events that you want me to attend. But it wasn't enough. Then it became extremely weird because then it became like this competition through social media where this person would do things to make me feel like I'm missing out or something like that. And it's like the person just was not like it's crazy how a person can be in their ego and they're missing the point. Like it's crazy how they're missing the ego and they're in their ego and they're completely missing the point of why you feel the way that you feel and why you do what you do and why you're moving in the way that you're moving. If they actually listened and respected you in a real way, they would have heard you the first time. They would have heard you the first time, but they didn't hear you the first time. So it just makes you question, like, do they even respect you at all? It just, I don't know. It just, I don't know.
That's my take.
It was crazy. Like, I've been in Houston for a while and, you party after a while, but after a while, the partying, it get old. Like, I want to do other stuff. I want to go to more upscale events. I want to be a part of like country clubs and things like that. And I had this party friend, which it was cool when we would party, but it's like, okay, well, this was fun and everything, but after a while, it gets old. So I made that clear, yet I'm still getting invites to those type of things, but then I'm acting weird for not wanting to go. Like that's not wanting to hang out. But then when I invite her to go to wellness events and things like that, it's I can't. And so it's just like, okay, so then there's a natural misalignment, there's a natural separation. There's no issue. There's no beef. Why are we doing the weird competitive things after that though? Like I don't understand. Like that's what got so weird for me. I was like, you know what? So I had to cut the person off. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, do I have to cut off everybody? Will I ever have a situation where I don't have to cut them off? Like seriously. I really want to know. Because I be trying to practice and do the exercises that my therapist taught me and things like that. But y'all, the situation ain't it. That's why in therapy, you go to therapy, you get the information, right? But in real life, when you apply it, it don't always go the way that your therapist is telling you it goes. But then you try to handle it in the best way that you know how. But sometimes you have to revert back to how you were handling things because it literally serves you. So you have to be situational. And that's why I said, yeah, you go to therapy and you do the work, but the real work is outside of therapy because you got to deal with people, you got to deal with the real world, and sometimes some of the stuff it just don't be working with certain people because they don't take the hints. And I think the reason they don't take the hints is because they're in their ego and they don't have a good level of self-awareness where they're not able to see how they're showing up. And so there's only so much that you can do. And if you're not being respected in the situation, if you're not being considered when it comes to how you are wanting things to go, because this is where you're moving in direction wise, yet they're not supporting that or being understanding of that, the only other thing to do is to remove yourself, especially when they start the whole monitoring. See, this is when the saxophones, this is when they start getting loud. Let me tell you. The saxophones always get loud when you try to create that distance, and then they start to become monitoring, and then they start to become competitive, and then they start to mimic, and then they start to copy. that's when the saxophone starts to get loud. Okay. And it's just, it is what it, and that at that point, you need to cut them off. All right. You need to stop playing around and you need to cut them off, because when it starts to get to that level, that girl need to get away from you. At that point, that person is not even safe anymore, because why is this person responding to my standards and my boundaries? Why are they responding that way? That's very weird. That's not normal behavior, to respond to someone's boundaries and standards with, let me monitor her and see what she's up to, because we haven't been hanging out in a while, but I literally told you why we haven't been hanging out in a while. And now you're monitoring me, you're competing with me, you're mimicking me, and you're copying me. That's not normal behavior at all. That's not normal behavior. So be careful. Okay. Yes. Therapy is a great tool, but also, like, people are crazy out here, y'all. Like, they do things and they're unaware, because I don't think they have a good level of self-awareness of how they're actually coming across. So just be careful about that. That's all that I have regarding this video. Let me know what your thoughts and your opinions are. I would love to see how the girls are going to respond to this live, because I talked about Ace first intentionally, and now I talked about Cardi second. And I really want to know, where do you stand? Where do you stand with all of this? Do you think Latto should get over it? Do you think Nick and Nicolandria should get over it? Or do you think that it's fair? Let me know.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that, but yeah, feel like that.
This is my opinion. I'm free to state my opinion anytime I like, right? Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like that, but yeah, feel like that.